Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Smart Guys before WrestleMania 41. It's time for episode 13, the big pre-show hype. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here tonight broadcasting live on YouTube and on Kick. And with me tonight is my third and final Where is my third and final co-host? Hello? What the hell? Hi. Oh.
Hello, Phil.
Hello. It's someone on the internet who you might know, or you might not, whose name is Gahul. And ladies and gentlemen, my third co-host here on Smart Guys, now for the WrestleMania build-up show, is actually the Shockmaster in the flesh. But no, that was the Shockmaster.
What up, Medusa?
Well done,
good evening, my brother.
Nice, you pulled that one off.
Who is this?
Looked really good.
I hope it went well. I mean, I didn't fall, did I? I didn't trip. It looked cool, right?
Who in the fuck is this guy?
Great. People right now are saying, who the hell is this and what the hell is going on? So I think we should do a little bit of an introduction. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, for those of you not in the know, which is I'm assuming everyone on the stream chat right now, my name is Gahul. And in fact, long ago in the distant year of 2021, I co-hosted a wrestling podcast with one Ashton Parks, PPP.
Whoa, hold on. No. Well, I don't believe you, because PPP is not a fan of pro wrestling. All right, we all know that PPP hates it. He's outright said on his show, only retarded people like pro wrestling. So there's absolutely no way that this guy would have possibly covered pro wrestling in the past or talked with anyone else about pro wrestling. He only did this show with me to make fun of me, and we all know this. He said this publicly. Yeah. So,
bro, why is their audio dropping like super low?
I don't think that right now it's a very convincible argument.
Well, listen, man.
Hold on, let me see something.
If you want to say only retards like wrestling, well, you know what? Then he's a retard. I'm a retard.
Hold on.
Hey.
Okay,
got
yeah.
A permit for those guns?
I don't know.
Retard. We're all a big group of retards here, man. What can you say? I like wrestling. What do you mean he doesn't? We talked about wrestling.
Their audio is so low.
Interaction online really was a pretty heated debate about pro wrestling, and he had actual strong opinions about pro wrestling. But yeah, man. Way back in the day, 2021, yes. We hosted a show called 5 Pounds of Gunt. It was me and PPP. It was on my channel. Only 5 pounds. It was supposed to be 10 pounds of Gunt, like the 10 pounds of gold NWA title, right? But I actually am retarded.
There's an NWA title. Did Ice Cube hold that title?
5 Pounds of Gunt. Ran for a good couple episodes. Ran for about a year. You know, we had a good time. It was fun. It was actually
not bad.
2020. We had a good year run of it. We went to, that year's WrestleMania. We didn't go, but we covered that year's WrestleMania. You know, we covered some stuff afterwards. Eventually, though, like all great things, all great internet shows, ended up in a blow up of drama. Where
he looks like a pig and sounds like Porky the Pig.
Which is on my channel right now.
So this show, to be clear, this was just
us having
Master P. No, I had no idea. I don't remember that.
Show that you just would upload.
Let me try and turn up their audio.
The nature of the show was
live. It was a live show.
It was live streamed on YouTube. Oh, okay, that's cool. So you had an audience, and this all went down live in front of an actual audience. That's
Can you guys hear it better?
And so this,
it was about.
It wasn't pre-planned or anything, right? It just kind of happened out of nowhere.
Yeah, we had about 15 people, 20 people watched it. No one was really watching. It was mostly because it was on my channel. I don't have a very popular channel. It is what it is. Although I will say, I've got some big hits on there. Some you don't miss.
There's nothing I can do, guys. I'm sorry. I turned it up as far as it goes.
So, the final episode, which you can watch, it's if you go in the playlist, I believe it is.
Oh my!
Yeah. And what is the name of your channel on YouTube, sir?
That's it, Darkside Phil, my brother. I can be out here in the streets fighting these guys for you.
TV Chan, you'll get it.
Do you understand that?
5 Pounds of Gun season
I could
2,
be out here
final episode,
day
about
in
an hour
and day out fighting these
fucking
trolls.
evolve and descend on each other,
And all it would take is
him a new one.
is 350.
And all of this centered.
And then I turned around and I told him, by God, it's a giant monster from the Paleozoic era. And I said, Loch Ness Monster, what do you need with $3.50?
I'm not in on all this lingo. E-girlfriend. Are you saying that it was a girlfriend that he had that was solely online and he didn't spend time with? Are you saying that it actually wasn't even a real girl? It was like an avatar? Like, what is
I don't know, Nugs. Nobody knows.
It's his online girlfriend. He actually had multiple online girlfriends, multiple at the same time. He was the PPP, the pup of a pimp game, as he said. So this whole blow up shit happened. We stopped doing the show because I got mad at this guy for hanging out with this girl named Snacks.
I got mad at this guy for hanging out with this girl named
Snacks. I made like a 2-hour documentary about this on my channel as well.
It's a whole documentary about this lady.
Great video.
All I hear when this guy moves his mouth is Ooga Dooga Niga. Hunda Haga Hunda Gaga Hunga Naga Uga Da Pika Naga Pee 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 Naga. Dude, I love hut knees. Whenever a fat person comes on screen, it's like, okay, two-seater, you're gonna have some hut knees laid on you, pimp. Actions have consequences, pimp. And if you want to eat a whole pizza, you're gonna have to sound like Jabba the Hutt for a few minutes.
This was a real person who went online by Snacks. This wasn't a catfish. This was actually a real person who existed.
A real woman. A real woman who e-sex with PPP. Frankly, I understand that. But reality is, this e-girl, I did some research. I did a little digging because he kind of like, sent her to try to embarrass me on my stream a couple of times, sent her into my Discord to like make fun of me. Just being.
Well, I mean, it's not hard.
While you were doing the show, he was doing this, right? This was after the fact.
Dude looks like Rich of Review Tech 20 years ago.
I did some digging into this girl. Turns out, this Snacks e-girl, who, by the way, he cheated on a previous Irish e-girl, who I don't know that person's name, but he had a
how do you cheat? Wait. How do you cheat on an e-girl? It's not a real relationship. How could you be cheating? I don't even. What?
I know. Well, he was dating this one girl, and then he started dating this other girl at the same time, and they would,
Japanese is
take photos, have their heads in the toilet, he was in the foot pics, and
what was that one dude
really not
from it was
him, like they would draw him porn of him with Cyndaquil from Pokemon.
They sing all around the world, statues crumble for me.
Yeah,
who sang that song?
That was on. If you go to Kill Kino Casino stream with me a couple of weeks ago, which by the way, on that show I promised I wouldn't talk about PPP again, but I mean it's with DarkSydeDrill, man. I can't. It's the legend. It's
Sugar Ray.
How could I not take the opportunity?
Who was the lead singer of that band?
As you guys know, I don't get involved with any of this online drama stuff.
It's too long for the joke.
But contacted me several weeks ago, and he says, I used to be the former co-host of a wrestling show with PPP. Our show also got into drama. We also basically had gotten to a big online tip, and it would be perfect.
Fat Joe's gay stunt double.
I'm a big fan of wrestling, but also
that's why Fat Joe stopped singing "Lean Back." He didn't want to lean back into that guy.
To talk both. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this guy is the real deal. He knows his stuff. He's got the history. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of this because
heart attack.
Just so you guys know, I have not
Mark McGrath. That's who it was.
Any kind of detail whatsoever. He
ate too many pizzas.
Okay, like I don't know anything about it. This is
decided to be a wrestling fan.
I'm the guy who was involved with him. I'm like, holy shit. This guy loves to go on.
Dude, you were right.
I'm talking about.
He's struggling to breathe.
Casino, and he just likes to snipe and dump on everyone else on the internet, right? He's the one who's going to be the big guy.
This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
King shit. Well,
he thought he was going to be king shit. Little did he know that I'm really the king.
No one seems to talk
Me, Phil, of the dark side of Phil's.
Ladies put the heads in the toilets, folks. What can you say? That's what he likes.
What does that even mean? Heads in the so he would actually tell them to put their heads in a toilet and send a picture?
Yes.
What?
That's what got him off, man. And listen, it's a big.
I don't believe you.
We're joshing here a little bit.
I need receipts.
But I mean, here's the deal.
I mean, he'd
At the
probably
end
have
of the day,
eaten them
what's
by
going on?
now,
If he
but
wants to
still.
do this with his e-girlfriend, it's whatever. But at the time, and then maybe I was a little bit overzealous with this, I was a very much heavy no e-girl kind of guy. I'm like,
Bro,
e-girls
you're
are
much
really
of a
bad.
heavy
It was
guy
fun,
all
you know, I felt
around. What
bad
the
for my
fuck are
friends,
you
but listen, man,
talking about?
I could tell, and we had some arguments back and forth. He chat talked me with his friend Godwinson. They talked shit about my family, right? Which, you know, in that sector of the world, it was fair game. But I got a little bit heated. I got mad, and I said, you know what? You want to talk shit about me? Well, I got some crazy shit about you, man. So I'm gonna make a video about you, about this e-girl. I said I'm not gonna make a video about people. And
He looks like he hasn't showered in a couple of days either.
Before this stream, we knew about this. I told him like months ago that I was gonna do this, and then on this 5 pounds of gun, he starts confronting me like, "Oh, you're gonna try and burn me with this stuff." It's like, well, listen, man, you're associating with this e-girl, and if it's one thing, it's a weird e-girl, but this shit was not good. And I'm gonna go into some detail here because what I'm about to say is like serious allegation shit. I don't want.
He's wearing wrestling shorts. He came out wearing a wrestling poncho and a WrestleMania shirt. This guy's dumber than shit. I remember when I was 11.
Mind you, if you're a guy in PP's position, put yourself in this position, right?
I don't have to put myself into a position. I can actually move.
It'd be hard to say no. You probably wouldn't look into her backstory, which I understand. But it wasn't that. He actually had multiple e-girl.
Bro, he does. He looks like an albino EDP. You're fucking right.
Right. So
hold on.
Where were you when EDP was born? Are you his father?
The specifics of this snacks girl. So PPP at this time, because we're talking, this is 2021. Okay.
Bro, I couldn't give two shits about this if I'm being honest. Phil, this is the dumbest shit I have ever seen.
Show together. And
yeah, this was.
What was that?
This last episode was just after he got kicked out of his house with his friend, who used to live with his friend named Surfer. Now, I don't know if he's talked to you.
Bro, I haven't seen shit from Keemstar today.
So he got kicked out of his own house. No, I don't know.
Did you guys know that Keemstar got caught asking links for nudes? Bro,
he was a nobody, basically, is what you're saying. He wasn't any big shit. He didn't have a popular show or anything.
I would disagree. He had a decent following on his show. He had, This Week in Nectar with him and Leo Pirate. He and Godwinson did tons of shows together. It wasn't like a big thing, but he was big in the circles that, I ran with. He was in the sphere of what we call the sector, the Ethan Ralph hate. Previous to this, he had done a big drama with Dick Masterson calling out New Project 2, and he did a bunch of other stuff with...
Oh, Project 2. Sounds like the precursor to one scam called Project 7. I wonder who ran that.
One thing I want to call out here, because you're dropping names, isn't it funny? It seems like everyone who this guy associates with, he has a big falling out with and ends up basically trying to dump on at a later date. You just named Ethan Ralph, you named Dick Masterson, you obviously.
Oh, bro, Peter Freakout. It's okay.
Who does stuff with, there's some drama, and the next thing you know,
it's his own goddamn fault, bro.
Guy or whoever it is. I mean, it just seems like a running pattern.
Right? No drama, just gaming. Because that's what we do here on DSP. Oh, wait. This is DSP Toxic. Sorry.
Wow. And Surfer was his best friend for years. They went to the same church together. They worked together. Surfer was like his real life friend, right? And they had a very public falling out. Where
but I really do love gaming, and I shouldn't besmirch it that way.
Physically assaulting him, which I don't want to talk or speak for Surfer or PPP involved with that because I wasn't there, but they had a real actual end
altercation
of shit.
Yeah.
And that was a real friendship.
Dude, I love memes. My favorite one is still Ugandan Knuckles. And the dancers with the casket, classic.
Was partially because Surfer was interrupting him on the streams because frankly Surfer's a very entertaining person, and they had a great duo dichotomy where they would banter back and forth. Where PPP talked more.
What the fuck are you talking about, fat boy? We're not ordering sandwiches. Can you shut up?
Surfer was like Jerry the King Lawler. He was the play-by-play, the talk normal stuff, and then Surfer would come in with the crazy shit every now.
That makes sense to me because PPP, when we rebooted Smart Guys, he was the one who started doing the actual. Here's the results, and he would read off the match and what happened, and then I would be like the color commentary on top of it. So yeah, I kind of get that. He
yeah,
could, like,
because for as
take
much
the
as
helm and run the
PPP
show
has
and
his
do the
issues,
actual details
he
of the
knows
show,
how to
and
manage
the other guy's the kind
a
of the
show.
personality chiming in color. Got it. Okay.
So they had their big blowing up, and that was a couple months.
I
later
thought
than
this
we
was a
were on that
wrestling
5,000
show.
basically. And
The
whole crux of this is,
where's
I
the
don't like
little
Snaz.
sticker?
I'm friends with Surfer too, so I was kind of pissed that I kind of, you can see both sides who instigated that. Thing. Was pissed
I
that
lost the wrap that went to it, but it's some
The thing that I
live
don't get
resin
is this is an
from earlier
right? So
today.
She's not around physically.
But dude, I got a
with this guy or
Puffco.
anything.
A
How is
Puffco
she
Peak.
interjecting herself
Oh
into
my
these relationships
God,
like with
Fat.
Surfer and
It's beautiful.
why is there even involvement? You would think that if you had a relationship, you would want to keep that separate from everything else you're doing, keep it out of drama and everything. But it seems like that's the opposite. That somehow because he had this
It's
e-girl
real
snaps
nice,
that
bro.
it somehow
I
permeated
couldn't
into
recommend it
everything
more.
else. That's kind of what I don't.
When I get
like, how everyone
monetized, I'm
else
gonna
gets
see if I
involved.
can
when you spend 6 hours a day
try
on
and
Discord
get
call with
a
with
sponsorship.
girls, I mean, that's when you're primarily
Be like,
doing it,
hey,
you're not
let
streaming.
me review your coils and shit.
That's like he would basically hop on the channel.
Give me
From my
free stuff.
understanding. And obviously he lives in Surfer's
I'm just
living room,
kidding.
basically on his couch. He doesn't have a private
So it's
space,
kind of
so,
hard to exactly. There's no privacy.
I am probably
Okay, I
gonna do
gotcha.
that
makes
because
sense.
they are pretty
But,
nice,
so,
and I'd like you guys
and all
to
this
get
being
one
said,
too.
It's like, why, at
If
first I
it's
was like, I
cost
shouldn't dog
effective.
on
They
this
have
guy,
other
I just
utensils
think,
as well.
This specific e-girl was like, it's just one of these like
The
scummy,
Hool?
people who float around these like.
Oh yeah, he used to be
Discords, these
PPP's
houses,
co-host, is
no
what he's
good,
saying.
like,
But this
literally,
guy's
and I
hard
would
to
say that
hear,
I talked to some of the people.
and
just
I
before,
know
we'll get
that
into that
my
later,
voice
but
is probably
literally, we're
super
talking
loud
about the
compared to
Discord server
theirs.
bicycle, if that makes sense. Like, she'd been like, trying to. Have
Yeah,
this back, and literally,
sub to me on all
guys
your
have
sock accounts,
guys
and
flown
then
out
do
there from
invalid
Discord
click
all
activity
at
on
her home,
all links.
which is like,
What? This whole thing blows my mind because I'm
Fuck
43
you,
years old,
Phil. You're
and
so
when I was growing up,
stupid.
the online stuff didn't even exist. It was all in person, trying to meet people or whatever. And yes, obviously, I've met people online. My wife I met online, and but even then, like having a long distance relationship where you just talk.
And
on
then
a-
your
on a chat or a
ex-girlfriend
server all
you
day,
met online,
just
who
not-
was a child in
to
high
me,
school.
That's
Yeah,
not
you
like a
forgot that
real
part, Phil.
relationship.
You forgot
And
that
so
part,
once I
homeboy.
had basically been dating my wife for several months, I was like, I want her to move in with me. I want to start having a real relationship with this woman. I just don't get the whole thing. Sitting on a server talking for 6 hours straight all day. Just can't you just find someone who you can be with in person, who's a real in life relationship? You know what
Oh
I'm
my
saying? Like,
God, bro.
that's just crazy
It's
to me.
just the
I don't know.
content cycle.
I don't want to throw stones in glass houses. I'm a very fat guy. I'm not skinny, but
Yep.
he's a death fact, right? His only option is an e relationship because he can't physically. Right now, he can't
Wow.
physically leave the house. At the time, he could barely get to the toilet. And when he was with Surfer, so he was basically immobile. He's basically handicapped through fat, right? He can't leave the house, and any girl was going to go out with him, she would have to come to him. And I mean, frankly, I don't want to get into the fat chicks. I'm very fat. I don't feel comfortable with that. But I mean, that's the actual reason, right? That's why you would do that.
Okay. I guess that makes
Okay,
sense then.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
But, and there's no.
Wait a minute. I know this 2 scoops albino EDP ass fucking receding hairline ass fat bitch isn't talking about women have to be attractive. Homeboy. You look like 2 scoops of melted ice cream that someone turned into mashed potatoes. Shut the fuck up, bro. What the hell are you talking about? I don't do fat girls, bro. You can't even see your penis. You can't do anybody. You look like one of those thumb people from Spy Kids. Shut your dumb ass up. You fucking Krusty the Clown ass fat fuck. Oh my God, what the fuck?
Fucking, frankly, I want to shame the guy for that. The shame comes from the choice in the e-girl, right? Because this is
the thumb
this
kid from
e-girl
Spy
Snaz
Kids, bro.
I don't know, start with the least crazy allegation, which I know to be true, and then go to the actual like bad stuff. So this Snaz-
Jabba
Again, for the
Donut.
record, I know nothing about what we're about to talk about. This is all first time for me.
I
have
don't
no
know
idea
anything.
what any of this is.
Bullshit, Phil.
And for the record, because some people in chat are like, what's going on right here? It's this simple, all right? PPP right now is riding high. And the reason he's riding high is because he caught lightning in a bottle, all right? What it sounds to me like is he was someone who was a lolcow on the internet, and he knows it. He knows how bad of a lolcow he was. He was in lolcow.
Bro, Bro, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. Wait a fucking minute. Do you think Andy Worski in the Gunt Guard Ashton don't know that they're lolcows? What up, creepy cold guy? How are you? Butterbean, bro, you took the thought right out of my head, man. Good evening. Welcome in. I haven't seen you before. I lost my train of thought. You think Ashton and Andy Worski don't know that they're lolcows? They run the show about lolcows and can talk so in depth about them because they've spent the majority of their life as lolcows. PPP fucking destroyed this man. And it's not even close. It's embarrassing. But anyway, let's get back to it and then see what he has to say.
Call circles, the sector, and he was making content and all that. And at some point, he somehow stumbled upon the perfect formula. I want to do a show with someone else, formerly kind of from this group, and we're going to basically make fun of everyone else, and we're going to act like we're the high horses above everybody else. But in truth, here's the truth about all of this, all right? Anyone who involves themselves in this kind of content and actively wraps themselves up in it on a daily basis is no better than anyone else. At any given day, you're going to fly too close to the sun, something's going to come out, and then you're going to be the new jackass, all right? Personally, me, I have tried to never, ever get involved with this kind of shit.
This doesn't make sense.
Everyone else tries to get Phil on their show for drama and this and that. I say, no. I don't want to do that because I want to make meaningful, positive content for people on the internet. Okay? But this guy,
knock it the
him and his
fuck
buddy over there on
off.
Casino.
Knock it off, Phil. Just fucking stop.
I want to do positive content.
No, you fucking don't. You want to do this content. You want to do lolcow content. And you don't want it to be about you. And that's the problem. Because it has to be about you. Because, bitch, Piggy, you're the fucking king lolcow, bro.
Actively tried to use me for 8+ months as a way to get a rise on their show, to get me involved in their content. And then, when it wasn't convenient anymore because it wasn't working, they decided that they were going to turn on me and start being negative towards me. And that's when I had enough. And I cut the cord. Now, all of a sudden,
no, you
Phil's
didn't.
the loser.
Yep.
Phil's the lolcow.
Yep.
No, motherfuckers.
You've always been.
You are.
You've always
you always
been.
were. But just because you found a way to get popular making fun of other lolcows doesn't mean that you're not the ultimate lolcows too. So when
they've never denied it, you dumbass.
Sorry to cut you off, though.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Scumbag lolcow. And you made a good point. You fly too close to the sun. I will say this: the lolcow sector, and I've experienced this a lot, and especially nowadays with, like, it just always creeps up. When you're on that fringe of the internet, that's like so close to the outer fringes of what like the normal internet is, right? You're really close to a not so good part of the internet that's very fucking bad. That's like illegal. That's like you are committing actual like scumbag crimes and shit. And it's really easy to
excuse what? Wait, fat bitch.
Crimes.
What?
You know, we don't want to.
I'm sorry, bitch. What? What? Me making fun of Darkside goddamn Phil and doing a Cyrax voice and making fun of pedophiles on the internet. This is in no way illegal. All right? Okay. Okay. Well, you see what I did is I went and I conversed with my Norse ancestors. Right? Okay. And then I went to Japan and I conversed with my sensei, and he taught me in the way of Bushido. And then I came back here and I explained to everybody, right, how Music Biz Marty was actually the villain the whole time. And what Kate did was entrapment, all right? You could sit there and you could tell me, but Cyrax, you shit your pants and had to cry to your mom. And you may be right. Wait, Where was I going with this? Anyway, that didn't actually happen. That's not illegal, you fat bitch. Shut the fuck up.
You know, we all sweep it under the rug and pretend like it didn't happen, but Worski's actually committed like heinous shit in the past. And I don't know. I don't want to say PvP has because I don't know if he has, and I don't think he has.
Still is insufferable, bro.
He is, or he was. I'm not sure if he still is. I'm sorry if my connections is bad. I'm not sure if I'm dipping or anything. If I'm okay,
It's chopping up a little bit, but it's fine. I've had
oh
worse
god,
so
bro, the auto tune it made it so perfect.
It's easier on all of us, but I will say, and the whole point of the story where we're talking about this e-girl snacks. And
oh
the
god,
I made a
no.
whole documentary years ago after it happened, and he kind of just pushed it away. Kind of let it, like, just didn't acknowledge it. Said, who cares? This doesn't matter. I don't have to address what I did wrong. It's fine. Well, sorry, bitch, but revenge is a dish best served cold. You didn't address it then.
Bitch, I want you to tell me when's the last time you let a dish go cold, fatso. Out here looking like mid-90s John Goodman. Shut the fuck up, fat boy. Fucking real life adult Cartman without the fucking beanie on, bro.
So now I'm gonna come on here and make you fucking talk, look in the mirror, and see what the fuck you did. And frankly, Phil, what got me and what made me really pissed and want to talk to you was what he talked about your fucking wife, what he shat on her. That really fucking upset me. And frankly,
oh no, his wife is so fat she looks like a human carton of milk. Oh no, oh no, she's so fat she's as round as a ball. Oh no, she's so fat you could roll her down a hill and she'd probably gain so much speed she'd knock over a house. Oh no, oh no, oh no, a human bag of milk? No, that's Phil. Phil's the bag of milk.
There's no excuse. I understand it's the internet, we talk shit about each other, but there's no fucking excuse for the way he talked about you, your wife. There just isn't. It's not fucking okay.
I said outright to him, you guys, by giving me a chance, shining me in a positive light, glazing me or whatever, you gave me a big rise in the internet community that I haven't seen in 10 years. I'm doing better. I'm getting more support, more views. You guys can literally say whatever the fuck you want about me. I don't care. You can talk shit about my content, about my appearance.
Bitch, you let it go on for months, and all he had to do was pretend to apologize. Shut the fuck up. You're lying. You're lying, Phil. You're lying.
About anything I do. But I told him outright, do not be bringing up personal shit like my wife, my family. There's no reason. They're not in my content. They have nothing to do with anything. For a while, they respected that. But then slowly started noticing, oh, we're going to name drop. We're going to say an insult. We're going to do that. What it is they got to push that boundary. They got to feel like.
It's not our fault you told Ashton that your wife had ovarian cancer, bro. And that's why you couldn't have kids. That's your fucking fault, you stupid moron. You should have never have said that.
Like they're the big kahunas in charge. They're the top dog in the yard. And they can get away with whatever they want. Even though they knew it was wrong. They're still gonna do it, right? So, there you go.
I don't have the chat open right now, so I don't know what people are saying. But, you know, it's fine.
Fat Joe, but uglier.
All right.
He doesn't have the Puerto Rican, like, flair to his face.
That PP chose to associate with, right, was a member of a group called the Order of Nine Angles, which is a Nazi Satanist group on Discord that would, which is, you know, I mean, it's Discord. It's not that crazy. But Nazi
I'm gonna need some kind of proof of this, bro.
You gotta have it both ways. So the Order of Nine Angles is a Nazi Satanist group, which has essentially did a lot of fucked up shit. You know, they would share like, you know, gore and stuff on their page and stuff like that. Really just gross group of people. And this Snacks girl, not only was a member of the Order of Nine Angles, she was like like I said, the Discord bicycle of the Order of the Nine Angles and these like associated like far right Discord groups. So
here we go with the far right.
Dingo.
Goddamn politics.
This whole thing went down. This Dingo guy, you know, he was with her, and they like she you know had like a fling with him, and he came out and had sex with her, which is kind of fucking weird. Like,
wait, you just said he wasn't able to have sex, dude. Now you're saying that he went out and had sex with somebody? What are you talking about?
Whatever. But there's this guy in
You just said he was like unable to move.
Now, Torba, when he knew Snacks, was like, I think he was either, I don't want to make shit up, so I'm just going to say he was under the age of 18. I don't remember exactly how old he was.
Oh, great. So now we got a nice dose of pedophilia in here, too. It's like, you know, just keep going. Keep stacking it on.
And it wasn't even just like...
Oh, you want to talk about pedophilia there, buddy? How old was Leanna?
I've seen her love for Torba. Like, I must have you, Torba. To this fucking, like, 16 or 15-year-old. And he's fucking admitted that she did this, by the way. There's, like, fucking... He's, like, gone on record saying that she definitely did this. I don't think he cares that she did it. But, you know... So...
It doesn't make sense. His story's all over the place. So apparently Ashton can't get girls, but was able to trick a bunch of girls. Can't have sex, but somehow went and had sex with somebody? That doesn't make sense. He said he wasn't able to move. Like, he was so fat he was immobile.
So now we're committing another. That's a crime, too, on top of that. Swatting is a crime. And, you know...
I don't know if... I don't want to slander say Snacks was committed swatting, but she was in, like, the same... group of people. She
the same groups who were at least involved in doing it. Gotcha. How at this point? So we're talking. This is 2021. How old is this person?
Oh, Snacks? They're gonna kill this man.
Snacks.
Or Snacks. Shit. I think she was in her mid-20s. I don't have that. I don't have that right in front of me.
Yeah, I thought this was a wrestling show, bro.
So crazy. You know, everyone gives me shit. Listen, when I was in my 20s, I was a troll. I said to everyone.
When you were in your 20s. You preyed upon a 17-year-old in high school, waited until she was 18, and then groomed that child. That's what you did.
I'm going to do that. I look back on it now, and I regret it because I'm in my 40s, and I'm like, man, instead of that, I could have been someone more positive, someone trying to do constructive things for the street fighter
doesn't.
Community.
His head is so fat and round.
Wow, what an immature asshole I was, right? Now, I guess the new thing is when you're in your 20s, you got to be involved with as many fringe, insanely socially reprehensible criminal circles as you can online. Spend all your time online and chats doing fucked up
Being
stuff.
a detractor is
to
not
me, it's
illegal.
just like crazy. It's like a culture shock to hear this.
It's not illegal.
I'm so far removed from that.
What are
I'm
you
not so far
talking
removed. Like,
about?
my parents are so far removed from it. They don't even know what shit on the internet is. Okay, they don't even get the internet. They're a different generation. I'm the generation that grew up with it, but I was never involved in any of this crazy shit. Now I hear like the whole new generation.
You are already an adult.
Everyone's online doing this online shit, crazy fringe shit. Like, oh my God, like it's a weird like second society online of people doing this stuff. E-girlfriend just blows my mind. Like, she was an e-girlfriend to multiple people. Like, what?
Bro, both of your goddamn girlfriends were e-girlfriends. What the fuck are you talking about? Both Leanna and fucking Kat. Who are you trying to fool?
This pedophile e-girl that you...
They were viewers of his, exactly.
For all I know, actually, they're still dating, by the way. I don't know if they've broken up. I never heard that they broke up. And I've talked to a lot of people who were in PvP's inner circle, like Perspic. And by the way, shout out to Perspic. I'm sure he's fucking thrilled that I'm talking about him on your stream. He's probably gonna, come in his pants hearing that. No offense.
What the fuck did you just say?
They never told me that they broke up, as far as I know. Maybe they did, but I mean, frankly, like this shit, when I heard it, I was like, what the fuck, man? You gotta stop this shit. Like, this is not okay. But also shout out to SMG, so Mexican guy. Also, not one of the PP inner circles, but one of the OGs. But back in the day, you would think, man, once you knew about this shit, you would fucking you should do some background checks, right, or anything.
Exactly. He said he hasn't seen them since 2018 or 2019 or something like that.
Send him boxes and boxes of candy and cookies and shit to get him fatter and fatter.
Right, maybe.
Terrible artist, by the way. She drew, him and Pokemon Cyndaquil naked together for some reason, for who fucking knows what.
Not Cyndaquil.
Why this is the guy, by the way, this was when he was doing this. He was at the peak of his preacher dump, because his family's a preacher family, right? He's this moral high ground guy.
I've heard this before. Yeah, I heard a little bit about this.
Geriatric internet swingers. Well, we all know his dad is.
To see where you ended up, right?
I mean, going after
his dad doesn't give a shit about his family. He's been trying to dump these losers since the 80s.
And be really, really.
He saw Phil one time and was like, "That's not my kid. You cheated on me. I don't want to be with you no more." And Phil's mother's like,
"But Dave, you have to pay the bills."
Underage boy.
He's like,
it's fucking pure hypocrisy, and it just grossed me the fuck out, and it pissed me the fuck off.
It pissed me the fuck off.
A very long video about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything.
Everyone's really pissed at him. They want him to address it, and he just never did.
Wait, he made a video about PPP talking about Phil's wife?
Yeah, like,
Nugs, did he do that?
And, talk about it, and then just let one of his, circle of E-boys, because he just surrounds himself, by the way, with a bunch of, like, gay guys online, which,
sounds like Rich, honestly.
He exclusively surrounded himself with these, like, gay orbiters, like Perspec or the Squire, right? And it's just weird. The PPP capos guys, I don't want to go into that too much more. But, so they basically ran defense control for him, and then, when it's all said and done, he moves on, doesn't get addressed, doesn't have to fucking reconcile, doesn't have to apologize, and can just move on. Of course, later on, with Warski, tried to defraud his audience by using, like, scam Russian payment sites. I'm not sure if you've heard about this.
No. Again, I hear nothing. But when I started getting involved with Kino Casino, all right, like the first
fake
week,
soft voice that he puts on,
out of the woodwork,
that he's a fraud when he does that.
Said, no, you're doing the wrong thing. You don't understand. Those guys are into some fucked up shit. They've got bad history, bad track record.
And you still wanted to work with them. And you still wanted to work with them.
I don't care about what you did in your past. What I care about is, like, who you are now. I mean, I look at my past and the fucked up.
Oh, the fake voice he's putting on. The fake voice he's putting on, that soft, calm, but I didn't know any of this. I had no idea. I didn't see that. When did that, bitch? No fucking way. You were living these people. You were in their chat for 6+ hours. No way you didn't know anything about these people. Shut the fuck up.
Anymore. So if I changed, I assume that other people can change too. But then it seems like with a lot of these people, history tends to repeat itself. You know what I mean? So
I thought they could change. Yeah, you thought the same of Darish, and he was a pedophile.
He did with fucking Perspic and Squire and Brian Dunn. Even his closest capos, his closest inner circle, he's turned on and betrayed. He hasn't betrayed Warski yet, but like, when he goes on to the show with Warski, it's acting like this, it's a big deal, big time Andy Warski. Andy Warski, before PvP, was streaming was like one of the lowest viewed, no one gives a shit streamers. Andy Warski coasted off of PvP success to make it big, basically. Right? And he provided him with the equipment and the money to make it happen, but like, before fucking PvP, he was streaming with a guy like Kyler, doing Twisted Minds to like nobody. No one gives a shit about him. And frankly, in a year or two, when PvP and Warski have their big blow up, which will inevitably happen, as we all know, it's a circle of life.
Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to slap the mic.
Warski's gonna move on
Aim, you swipe. Oh no!
He will just become another of the long line of previous Andy Warski co-hosts up there with JF and Anal Vape, right?
Excuse me?
That's who he is. It's a nobody. And
you're a nobody though, homeboy. What the fuck are you talking about?
Better himself, or at least get offline and do something real with his fucking life, which he just hasn't done.
Do you know who the fuck you're talking to?
Kino Casino to be his death sentence. He has moderate success online. I mean, if you compare him to actual live streamers, like real ones, it's fucking nothing. They get a couple thousand views. They get some money, whether it's botted or not. They have histories of botting in the past. And
you can't bot donations.
After the fact, I hear all this shit so far after the fact. But yeah, I heard all kinds of stuff about
you
that.
can't bot donations. Can you?
Them stuff, but they know it's gonna happen, like it's pre-planned shit and everything. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? So
you can't bot donations.
People say that shit about me all the time too, and it's never been true. So who knows? I mean, it's possible, but you can't really take someone to task.
But legit, they have done botting. They just have. And you know, I mean,
Phil, you've
when they
definitely
first
bought
became
it in the
YouTube, they
past.
started
Shut
using,
the
like,
fuck
really
up.
sketchy payment sites, like ones that, like, you know, Russian shit, where like they would steal your credit card number and stuff afterwards. You know,
Jesus.
and they said, please use this power chat, whatever the fucking was called, to give us money, because you know they can't deal with being banned from they can't lose their money income for even a week. But the reality is, this is his fucking death sentence. He's achieved mild success, not enough to actually like lift him up to like be like set for life, but enough to keep him like comfortable and fat. For,
Exactly.
like,
The money would have to come from somewhere.
and when it all comes down to it,
So how the fuck are they botting?
Ordering the fucking nonstop, like no movement, no.
To me, that doesn't
activity,
make sense, bro.
shoving his face full foot.
I'm gonna need you to elaborate how they're botting that stuff.
Within a decade. Like the health
Well,
problem.
views, I understand because that's possible. Botting views. I mean, I mean, no, I don't bot views.
You'd be forced to do a real job.
With my 4
People
viewers.
say that about you, but you know, to be fair, you actually spend 8 hours a day streaming, usually multiple days a week. He doesn't. So, frankly,
this is what.
Yeah,
I
he's just making a shitload of unsubstantiated claims.
We're upset because Kino Casino's not streaming today, and I say, well. The reason the Kino Casino doesn't have to work hard is because when they turn on the stream, a bunch of morons throw them literally
this fake victimhood voice that he fucking
so
does,
now
bro.
Like, oh, now we don't have to work.
He acts like he's a victim. Like, stop with the voice, Phil.
You would be like, I want more of them. Let's make them earn the paycheck before we open our wallets and dump everything on their heads. I work 8 hours. Well, 8. Well, I work 5 days minimum.
No,
6 days
you
week,
have to.
8+ hours
it's entirely different.
I'm a normal guy,
you have
so
to.
I realize that my viewers are not filthy rich, and I need to earn their money.
That's why you beg them and 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 beg them.
Just dump on people on their streams. How hard is that? Not very hard, I can tell you, because I've done it before. It's really fucking easy, and people just.
But you said all you've ever tried to do was positive content.
Shower them with money because then they don't have to work anymore.
But you said all you've ever tried to do was positive content.
These people who throw and shower money on people like this online, they're not smart. They don't understand the LARP because that's really what it is. It's a LARP. They're role playing something you want so that you will shower them with money.
That's what you fucking do. That is what you fucking do.
Right?
You literally call these morons your friends, bro.
I was right here talking to PPP.
These dented-ass morons in your fucking chat. You literally say they're your best friends.
And our fans.
Well, not best friends, but still.
Wallets.
That's what you do. Oh my God, he's oblivious.
They're not your friends. The only thing that they're there for is to pay you. You milk them in any way you can, and the moment you can, you throw them away and you replace them with others.
You mean that is what you fucking do?
So, to the point that he's okay with them putting their card information on a site where they will literally fucking get, you know, they'll have their credit card information, they'll have their cards defrauded and scanned. So
why would he ever care about that? As long as he received the payment, he doesn't give a shit about that.
You mean how you lie about what information you receive on what is it, fucking PayPal?
The people will keep coming in and paying him to do it, and that's all he cares about. And he said that word for word to me on a stream. So
I would need proof of that.
You know, it just the guy, frankly, is a horrible judge of fucking character. Continues to be a piece of shit.
But you worked with him. But you worked with him. But you worked with him.
Even his closest friends.
He's a bad judge of character, but he judged your character, and you worked with him.
Like a god when I knew him, right? And even he betrayed because, frankly, he wants to get fat and die young, and that's probably gonna happen. The more money people give to Kino Casino, the closer PvP gets to death, because that's all it's gonna do is funnel his fucking food addiction and his inability to live up. Probably his alcohol fun too, because he gets drunk on shit all the time, and he's just gonna fucking be dead in a couple years. And I'm fucking sick because I used to know this guy, and I'm not trying to be like a you know, concern troll here, which is
you are concern trolling, bro.
But genuinely, this guy will be fucking dead soon. And the more money you continue to give them, the more likely it is he will be dead. So if you want to see the guy die, it's similar cases to like King Cobra JFS, where like if you give that guy money, he's just gonna spend it on booze and it's gonna get closer to killing him. It's the exact same thing with PPP.
I hate to say it, really. I think that's kind of the shtick at this point online. I really believe that. Like, people actually pay these lol cows because they want to see them do the action that's most harmful to them. And then they're actually getting some kind of. I think it's sick to me, I think that's.
Oh, shut up!
Like,
you take advantage of the mentally
just,
disabled every fucking day.
You actually want to see them success and make themselves better. If you're actually paying someone and they're getting worse, then isn't that the opposite? But I think there are people that is a sick fetish where I will, like you said, the what is it, the death fats or whatever. Throw them the candy, throw them the stuff, so they'll keep going. You want to see them get pushed over the edge. That's just, I mean, that's insane. That's like the wild, broken human culture, in my opinion. That's why I
shut the fuck up, Phil.
Now, you kind of see with all the shit that these people are involved in, why I don't want to get involved in these circles.
Oh my God, you wanted them in your corner when you wanted to fight Rich.
Obviously, I'm on here talking about all this shit, so it is causing more drama, and obviously there's something to reflect about that. But frankly, I don't care. I want to talk shit about this guy because he pissed me off and he made fun of me and my family.
Yeah,
and,
what family, Fatso?
I've got plenty of documented, videos.
Then why didn't you bring any of that?
And I will say, all the claims I'm making, they're not fucking coming out of my ass hat.
They definitely are.
Servers tell me about this and confirm it all to me. Also, fun fact: before we move on, because we should probably get to the wrestling now, because we're about, we're pretty far deep into this. And I'm sure the audience, while they may be entertained or whatever by this, probably we will talk about wrestling because I love pro wrestling.
Yes,
that
is for the record. Because some people are shocked right now in chat and they're like, "What is going on?" Listen, this is like a 1-2 punch combo because Gahul actually is very much into pro wrestling. We're very excited to talk about WrestleMania in a second.
Creepy old guy, do you know who this is? Are you like a detractor of his?
Fucking awesome, great show. I love
if
that.
You are, bro, drop the details.
I don't.
So we can enlighten the congregation here.
I've been to. It was so amazing. One of the best shows I've been to live. But I will say before we close out, fun little story. So Torba.
Yeah, nobody did.
The young innocent child Torba. So Torba was a huge PPP fan. He loved PPP. He was one of his biggest fans, and he would just talk nonstop about PPP to Snacks. And because that got so annoying to Snacks that she decided to leave Torba to go to date PPP instead. So it wasn't even like she did it in her past or whatever. It was like, I'm going to stop being a pedophile and immediately go to Ashton Parks. It's like, so you can even say, well, it was way in the past, maybe he didn't know, and maybe she didn't tell him, but like, he was in the circles. He could have easily found out about anything about this girl. He didn't have any fucking background checks about this bitch to find out that before she dated you, she was dating a child, an underage boy who she groomed on Discord.
What?
So,
but again, these are the people who are sitting on a show every week, and they're the ones who are going to talk shit like they're above everyone else.
People are on it. They're looking into this guy already, bro.
And why would anyone want to watch that kind of crap, knowing who these people are, their past? Because I knew nothing about them whatsoever when I got involved with them. And then more and more, as I did more projects, more collabs with them, I have more people coming out. You got to cut it off. You got to stop. You understand this is going to be toxic. This is going to hurt you and your family long term. You're going to get wrapped up in shit you don't want to get wrapped up in. And I kept saying, don't worry. I got control of this. If they ever push me into something I don't want to do, they're going to know that. I'm not going to do it. And look what happened. The moment that they tried to basically snake me and get me involved with shit I didn't want to do, I said, no, I'm done.
No. The DMs prove different. And it's not any DMs, Phil. It's the DMs that you released. You're lying. You didn't leave. You fielded their opinions and their ideas, and you didn't leave until the detractors were making fun of you for being such a spineless coward that you let them talk about your wife in that way, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Immediately, it's like scorched earth against DSP. He's the worst guy on the planet. Let's have weeks of content about the guy. Well, what happened? You said it was good if I could, I mean, he even said to me, if ever you feel like our association isn't working out, you can leave. It's all good. And then I did. And then he turns into like a jilted lover, or like, like I left him at the altar or
God.
Or it's like, what?
God fucking damn. I can't stand this.
But I'm the victim. Don't you guys realize that? I'm the victim.
They did this to me, but dude, you went on this whole tirade. You brought Rich on your show and went on this whole bullshit about how you were the fucking king snake. You moron. Oh my god. I'll be right back, guys. I will be right back.
I can tell he really want you to come to like hang out with him to go do the Hogan show because I think he just wants to do that with someone, but he feels too embarrassed to just go by himself because he doesn't think, or he feels like maybe he physically can't do it by himself. Or he wants to go with you. And frankly, I hope he does find someone to go hang out with Hogan in Tampa with. That sounds awesome. He should go do that and stop fucking wasting his time talking shit about drama. Go make some real fucking friends, or make some fucking friends online. Host your show.
It was all part of his plan.
But like, frankly, it crossed the line when you start talking shit about your wife.
Exactly.
Listen,
I had every intention.
Upset about.
I had every intention of being civil and friendly with those guys for as long as it made sense. You know what I mean? Like, I had no intention of turning against them or snaking them, but it just seems like it was inevitable. Like, on their end, it was just going to happen when they saw that doing something with DSP in a positive manner.
This is why people make fun of wrestling.
You knew eventually it was going to
that guy is fat as hell
and just destroy the guy instead. And that's what everyone was telling me. And I said to everyone, "Don't worry, I have control of it." Which I did.
You didn't.
I pulled the plug when I needed to. But that's when they went crazy.
Oh
so that's
my god, he's just so full of shit.
Because we're talking about the Hogan thing, right? I think I agree with you. Like, I think that PPP actually does want to have real friends. But for some reason, there's something up here that just doesn't let him. And I don't know.
Says the dude that can't have friends in his life because he's afraid.
Too, because I'll tell you this from personal
fuck off.
When I was younger, I really suffered badly from depression, okay? And I had friends.
Yeah.
Literally, I destroyed friendships in my life for no reason. It wasn't like I don't like this guy or I literally would just say, "Time to fuck this friendship up." And then I would act like an asshole.
Fucking shut up.
Completely. And then my depression would
That's not depression. That's you being a dick and needing an excuse for why you're an asshole.
You feel more depressed, and it just feeds itself. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, all right?
Well,
but it was wild the way that he was acting like he wanted to be my friend. I was trying to tell him, "Nah, dude, there's kind of boundaries. I'm not going that far because I got a life. I got a wife. I'm never going to really be into that extent." And then when he goes too far and actually insults my wife, then
you didn't care about it, though. He did it multiple times.
I said I wouldn't go hang out with him in Florida, and she was the reason. So that's why he's so angry at her and starts talking shit about her on the show. Maybe.
That's not. That's literally not what your DM said at all. Stop with this fake victim fucking thing that you're doing, Phil.
Friends, so I can't like bitch about it too much. But when you look at, I've been like, all the people he's been friends with, I kind of know, right? Besides Worski, obviously, I don't know shit about Worski. The only thing I know about Worski is I knew his old co-host Anal Vape, which frankly was his best co-host. Shout outs to Anal Vape. He was a great Worski co-host, frankly. Which obviously fuck Anal Vape. He's a piece of shit.
By the way, hold on. Super Bonchan, I accidentally banned you. That was a mistake. I don't know if he's there. I misclicked on the chat because he's a regular on Kick, and I wanted to let him know I didn't. that was a complete mistake. I apologize. I did unban him. Sorry about that. Okay.
Apologies, Super Bonchan. We are so sorry.
Complete mistake. I went zoop.
What the fuck was that?
But no, every friend group he's been a part of, he's burned or destroyed. Leo Pirate, Perspec, Godwinson, me, Surfer, even his real life friends. He's burned everything, and maybe he has new friends now. And great. I hope he sticks with it and does something with it. But it's impossible for him. He's got a destructive personality. He just like this. And. You know
but it looks like you live. It looks like you live in a studio apartment.
Talk shit about Phil's wife. I think that gives Phil carte blanche to say whatever the fuck he wants back to you. He can be as mad, he can be as angry as he wants, and rightfully fucking so, because you don't insult the man's fucking wife. It's not okay. It's not fucking okay.
You don't have a wife,
good,
bro.
Especially if you're even somewhat friendly with the guy.
What's your wife's? What's your wife about? Your wife's as fat as a fucking walrus too, isn't she?
Ralph's wives in the past, right? And I've even done that myself in the past. But
you what? Wait, what a minute. Wait, what? Did you just say what I think you said?
Talking shit about her that way, that'd be in the content, right? And I've even done that myself in the past. But Ralph's wives in the past, right? And I've even done that myself in the past, but they.
Excuse me? You did what to yourself in the past?
I've even done that myself in the past, but Ralph's wives in the past, right? And I've even done that myself in the past. But
Yo,
they
what are
put
you
themselves
doing
in
to
line for the
yourself?
content. If Kat was on stream with you every day,
She was.
and he was talking shit about
Oh,
her that
not
way,
every
that'd be a
day.
very different thing. than
Not
talking shit
really.
about someone
She
that
was
doesn't
a
even show up
streamer
on camera.
herself,
It's not
you
fucking
fat
okay.
fuck.
That's right.
And
She
I
went
think
under the
you
name
were perfectly within
Chaos
your rights
Realm 01.
take a full
She
fucking hour
was
out of the show
a
and just dump
streamer.
on the
She
guy.
made
And
herself
I
a
would be happy to
public
do it for
person.
you again if you want, but that's basically all I got. I don't have any more dirt. That's what I got.
Here's the
Dated
truth.
pedophile.
The truth is, this actually would have been more pertinent if it had been like a month ago, right after the whole thing happened with Kino Casino. It took a while to get around getting certain guests on and everything and scheduling. It was supposed to be last
you have to
week,
Ralph
and
on first.
that didn't work. What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah,
The
you
truth
want to
is,
talk
'cause
all
people are
this
like,
shit,
well,
but
this
you
is me and
worked
Phil,
with them.
and now you're
You
getting into
worked
internet
with
drama,
them,
and
or
this is-
Phil?
No, what we just did here, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already, if anything, what you can easily see is that I don't need those guys. In the month now that I said I'm done with them, I have been consistently successful, reaching my goals,
Faking your troll. I mean,
raising-
felting your trolls.
funding goals, playing old school Japanese RPGs. You know what I mean? I don't even need to have a lot of people on a stream. I'm still successful. Things are good right
Yeah,
now for me.
because you're.
I just got
No,
made
they're
a
not.
Kick partner yesterday, and now I'm getting paid to stream on Kick. So I don't care about those.
What's
guys.
it
I
like?
don't need to sit and talk
Half
about
the
them
money?
constantly at all. You know they're going to talk about this. They're going to watch this hour on their show, and they're going to analyze it, and they're going to say, "Yeah, well, DSP is this, and Gohool is this, and they don't know." Blah, blah. Who cares? I'm not going to respond. I have nothing to do with them anymore. I'm
Who
done. I'm
cares?
above it. I keep
Who
telling
cares
everyone,
if they
I'm
expose me
above
as a
their drama
liar?
bullshit.
And somebody
That's
who
why when I
just
was on
brought
their show,
somebody
when
on
all
my
talk about Ethan
stream
Ralph or whatever,
to
I'd
say
be
a bunch of
bored.
stuff that
I'd
wasn't
be bored
true.
to fucking tears. Like, this is stupid. This isn't interesting to anyone with 4 brain cells in their fucking head. It's only people who are so lifeless, so negative, nothing to talk about. Those are the people who want to focus on that shit on the internet. I got my own life, my own positive shit I have to work on. I don't have time to shit on others constantly because I'm too busy.
Yeah, I will say this, Phil. So I do a lot of drama content, but it's not my exclusive stuff. I talk about video games and stuff too, and I run a movie discussion board. But I will say this: sometimes the drama drags you into it. Even if you don't want to talk about drama, sometimes people talk shit about you, and you can't just sit there and let them punch you in the face. You have to punch back, right? So maybe you don't want to keep swinging. Maybe you don't want to keep fighting. Maybe you don't want to be a boxer, right? But sometimes when someone punches you in the face, you have to fucking punch him back, and it's okay to just fucking.
Oh, shut up, fat boy.
Make him sting a little. And you know what? PP will probably call me some nasty shit. I guarantee you he's going to say some ugly shit about me or make up some fucking bullshit. And I'll say this. There's nothing that he can say about me that he himself isn't 10 times over. That's a fact.
And I'll end.
So you're a
This will be
pedophile?
my final say on the subject. All right, PPP can sit there on his pile of money that he gets from.
Oh,
mentally
jealous
deficient
little
people who
bitch.
open their wallets to him every single night. All right, good for
You
him.
were
Well,
fully
at the end of the
welcoming
day,
of those
he's
people.
gonna
Let's
be the
not
sad
forget.
guy sitting trying to talk to someone at 4 or 5 in the morning to get them to fly out to see Hulk Hogan with him at his bar because he's never going to have real friends and he's never going to have a real relationship and he's never going to have a real life for himself.
I'm sorry. What is this gay voice that you're doing, bro? What is this voice? What is this voice? Stop with the victim voice, bro. He's never gonna have friends. He's just never gonna do it. Hey. You whiny little fucking melted wax candle, Bell's palsy, by God, broken in half-ass bitch. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
And he's never going to be happy if he continues down the path that he's going down. It's that simple. It doesn't matter how
You're
rich you
a
are, how
miserable
popular you are,
man.
how many views you have on a stream. That's not a measure of success in life. Maybe it's a measure of success in the drama sphere. But you
It is a measure of success in life because if you're getting a lot of views, you're making quite a bit of money. That is a measure of success, bro.
You have an opportunity, but you got to make that change. I was willing to be friends with the guy, you know, to a certain extent. And when I basically created boundaries and said, "God, dude, let's enough of that," he lost his mind.
That's literally not
sorry,
what
dude.
happened. You were perfectly
You know,
okay
I can't stop
with
you
the
from
way
whatever
they were
mental
talking
issues
about
up
your
here,
wife and what they
but
were
I'm
saying about
positive.
your
I've
wife.
got a life. I've got a wife. I got shit to do.
I
and
got
it
a
doesn't
life
involve you.
and a wife.
Good luck with your future endeavors. You got released from Smart Guys.
What a
Yeah,
what an
that's the thing.
idiot.
And
What the
Andy
fuck
Warhol
is
too,
that?
Like, he released anal vape in the past. it's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna get dumped too. It's inevitable. You can't help. It's gonna happen. So, and frankly,
I can't
will be there
stand this victim bullshit.
Well, that's it. Let's move on, right? Let's be positive now. Enough of this nonsense.
Can you fix your audio?
We've got a good chunk now left of the show to actually
like, is my audio down? No.
For. So thanks to everyone who got people with their big conspiracy boards writing, what's the path for Cena? Where what he, and then he wins the chamber, turns heel, big hype, right? Everyone's so excited that now he's turned heel finally after all of this. All these years, everyone wanted to see him finally just stop being the stupid Super Cena goody two-shoes character. And I think there was a good 3-4 weeks of great build-up. They started off, I just don't like the fans. You guys never really supported me. You always, booed me, even though I was working my all, giving my all, everything I did. Then it changed to, actually, I think Cody Rhodes is a guy who stole my character. He's a modern Cena, but he's not as good as me, so he doesn't deserve it. I liked all of that. I really did. But to me, I don't feel excited as I was 2 weeks ago, because when the guy who's in the match isn't on your show, he's off doing other shit for 2 weeks. It just kills all the hype. And I don't know how WWE doesn't understand. You have to secure the guy for him. If he's going to be your main event of your event, he has to fucking be on your product every single week.
No, he doesn't. It's John fucking Cena.
When he couldn't be there the last 2 weeks. Like that last segment they just did with Cody Rhodes, and he was in front of all the championship belts. And he's showing the Bruno Sammartino belt and the Raw spinner belt and all. Look at the legacy of what this belt has meant. And if John Cena wins, he's going to throw the belt out and he's going to crap on all this legacy. That's all well and good. But Cena needs to be there to dispute it or to get back in his face or to disrespect those belts. And he's not there. And it was boring. I need Cena there. At least that's my take.
You're such a childish idiot.
This is going to be
I need He-Man in every scene that Skeletor's in, so I can understand who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, because I don't understand.
That's great, but you need to have the person there. So that's my take. I am excited for the match. I think it'll be a good match. Will Cena win? I kind of feel like he needs to, because if Cena doesn't win, then what the hell does he do for the rest of the year? This is his final year, and there's no story. He's not going to keep chasing. They're not, you know what I mean? There's something else would have to happen. He's a heel. Maybe they throw him against a bunch of other people he's never wrestled as a heel before. But I think you're right. I think he's going to win. And then the rest of the year is going to be people chasing him to be the one. Oh my God,
dude. You got to turn your audio up.
He seems unstoppable. But then the question is, what's he just going to do? Drop it at like the Rumble and then he's gone with the company and he doesn't go back to WrestleMania? It's just kind of a weird situation saying it's his last year and we have this weird time ticker clock in the background ticking down. There's like a big hourglass in the background. The sand's running down because it makes it limited with what you can do with the guy. So anyway, that's my take.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
So here's what I think. I think that the build...
He's wondering where catering is.
I didn't like the first two Cena promos where he's talking shit about the fans.
The fans, right.
I think that's okay, but it's like after like you look at and frankly, where's The Rock? He's the one who made Cena turn heel. Why is he not here to further the story?
Why does The Rock need to be in a Cena
He was the
program?
reason, like he pointed at Cena, he turned like this, and if you compare last year's main event build, which was, I want to say nearly perfect for like a main event of WrestleMania build, last year's was, mostly because of The Rock beating Cody with the whip, the belt and talking about his mama and stuff. He made it so personal. There was blood. It was serious. It felt like a real, like,
it's a fucking cartoon show play bullshit, dude. What the fuck are you expecting?
Like the fans.
Right.
It's not some kind of anime. They're fucking...
If it's the main event of WrestleMania, it
Fat
has
boy.
to be, I hate this other person. He has to hate Cody Rhodes because he doesn't want to give up his spot. He's like, I'm not going to let you take over. You're not ready. And that was eventually what they got to. But the first 2 weeks, like, what were the first 2 weeks? Just like, was he just lying? Was he just like talking shit and like, right? Like, it doesn't connect. It's not the same story. And I think it would have been a much stronger main event build if, even if you can't have Cena in person those 2 weeks, frankly, it's a great way to get heel heat. Have him send in a video, right? You have him record something on his fucking phone and, go out and record something like, I'm here on the set of whatever movie I'm filming. I can't spend time with you fans because the WWE is beneath me. You know, something like that. It's simple, but that keeps him.
You guys
in the
are
story,
fucking
even
stupid.
if he can't physically be
Just
present
watch
with
the
them.
garbage or turn it off.
They do this all the time when other people have commitments. It's very easy to do, and that's not even on Cena for not having the scheduling. That's on them.
Right at the
for
top of
not
the
thinking
hour,
that
bro.
of how to book this properly. It's just bad. Despite all of that, I think it's still going to be a very exciting. When the bell rings, I think it's going to be a really exciting, great match. I think, you know, when they've set up a great, you know, these are two very good in-ring wrestlers who wrestle a very good.
Oh,
like, their styles are
God.
going to mesh very well.
This is
Cody
why
and
I
Cena.
stopped watching
You know it's
wrestling.
gonna be good. You know, the storyline, there's gonna be lots of drama. probably
It's a
some
lot
fun
of drama.
bumps, you know,
I thought we
all the
didn't
good
do
shit,
drama
like
content on
dick
this channel.
pics, you know, everything you want in a good pro wrestling match is gonna happen, and it's gonna be a satisfying end to the show. Even though probably it's gonna be a heel win, right? It's probably gonna be some kind of heel shenanigan win with Cena winning, but that's where you do. I mean, frankly, that's what you said. The
Dude, he
hourglass in the
looks
background,
like
they could
Tipster.
show countdown till Cena retires and leaves. Like countdown every weekend, have it be like a looming threat, so that when that pay-per-view, so that every pay-per-view feels like we have to beat Cena to get rid of this, to get him the belt off of him.
Right.
And then it could be like the last day. It could be the last day. It could be like a end of the year pay-per-view. You can make that a really big show because it's the last ever Cena match. You can even call it like Cena's last match, the pay-per-view, you know, or premium light event, whatever they call it now. And you could,
Bro, he looks like Tipster without the glasses and the hat.
Realistically, you know, if we're gonna talk, we're gonna see what happens. But you know, there's ways you can build it after the fact. But if you compare it to last year's WrestleMania, like The Rock really stepped up, and he made that match matter. And Cena just hasn't, in comparison. It just hasn't been the same. And I want to talk about this now. Maybe I paid for my tickets last year. For WrestleMania, it was 2 nights, so it was about $500 for like
that's not
200
bad.
level bowl seating.
Now hold on,
And
was it $500 a night, or did that include both nights?
Both nights, and
Okay,
I bought
that's
like
good.
really early. I bought really early, so it's $250 a night, which is expensive. It's the most money I've ever spent in a wrestling show. It's really expensive, but you know, it was gonna be a fun time. It was a great show.
God,
I
he's
don't
just
regret
so
it. It was an
fat.
awesome show, and it was a great trip, and I had a lot of fun. I mean, we saved a lot of money. It was a cheap hotel and a cheap plane ride for me. So, but my one friend who went with me last year,
I stopped watching wrestling pretty much when I started doing what is it, combat sports
for nosebleed seats
in high school. Or not like combat sports, but like full contact sports, football and rugby. After that, I was just like kind of disillusioned with it, and then I watched it for a little while longer. Then I just kind of gave it up. It wasn't interesting to me anymore.
For a main event that's half as interesting.
And then I really got into UFC for a while, and then I kind of like stopped watching it.
It's just, to me, like, from what I've seen, and by the way, Slayer, who's one of my moderators, he's the guy who tipped and said that he has a friend that's going to WrestleMania, says second row seats are going for $2,000 a seat right now. You want to be truthful? I think that I'm shocked it's that low. I really am. I'm shocked that second row is only $2K. And the reason I say that, I attended WrestleMania. I think it was 19. I keep forgetting now. It was the New York, New Jersey first ever Rock versus Cena match as the main event. And I had floor seats. I didn't have second row seats, but I had floor seats. You know, the Shield, this was their first WrestleMania match. They came by me in the crowd, which is really cool, right?
Sure, they did.
That was about $1,000 a ticket. And that was over a decade ago. So to say second row seats are only $2K actually sounds cheap to me, but $800 for nosebleeds is insane. That's like out of control.
And that's before, and the prices went up higher. They were going for like nosebleeds. It was going to like $1,600 for both nights for the nosebleeds. 2,000 for floor seats. It must be because it's so close. Someone must have had to like really quick sell their tickets or something.
Exactly, bro. I don't understand.
But
everything is so expensive. Like I was saying, anything that has to do with fandom, with a following, it doesn't even have to be just sports related. It could be like pop culture related or whatever. But the prices for everything has gone up so high in the last several years. Again, this box of cards right here is retails for $29.99. So it's $30 for 7 packs. Okay, that's not so bad, maybe, right? It's still expensive, but it goes for $70 now. And now they're getting scarce, and they're going up to 80, 90. Like, what? It's a pack of fucking trading cards, man. This is not something that's a big valuable collectible. Each card's worth like less than $1 once you open it. So I mean, it's just wild. And the other thing is, people who get these collectibles, for example, when you go to WrestleMania and you buy the seat when it comes with the chair too, the folding chair or whatever, that's even more. That's like another $400 for the folding chair.
Yeah.
It's like, for what? So you can bring it home? Are you ever going to sit on that thing? I don't know. It's out of control. The pricing on everything these days, for sure. Like, I hear that. And I was saying, we actually talked just a little bit before we started broadcasting
Oh, God.
the show tonight. I was like, I can't imagine anyone being a fan of anything except like one thing. Like, let's say football is your thing, and I like football, so I go to the games, I buy the memorabilia. WWE's my thing, I go to the matches. How could you afford to be a fan of more than one thing at any given time in the modern day? You'd have to be like a filthy rich person to be dropping this level of money for these collectibles, for in-person events, meet and greets. I can imagine. Imagine if someone going to WrestleMania this weekend and they do everything. They go to the show, they do the Hall of Fame, they do meet and greets, they go to other shows. You're probably dropping $10,000. You know, it's like, oh, who can afford to do that? It's just wild to me how things have changed. You know, back in the day, it would be like, you know, $50 for a ticket to go one of these shows. I've gone to Raw and SmackDown for $50.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so I will
right.
agree with you about the Rock thing too. I feel like it was weird how the Rock came out of nowhere, said, "Cody Rhodes, I want your soul." So Cody says no, and the next thing you know, John Cena turns on him, and then Rock's just gone. What happened? What happened to the whole "I want your soul"? Does he have John Cena's soul? I guess, but then why is he not involved anymore? It's like they just wanted a cheap way to.
It's
wedge
really
in
stupid.
Cena heel turn, and then he tapped out, and it made it a lot.
You
less
guys will
exciting.
never
Last
hear
year,
me ask
but,
you,
I wasn't
hey
following pro
guys,
wrestling last year,
I
but
want
to
to
know that there was
buy
this
an
crazy
action
unbelievable feat that
figure,
Roman had.
but I don't
That,
have
you know,
the money
if
for it.
someone had to
So
beat
can
him,
you
it was
give
gonna
me
be
the
Cody
money
Rhodes
for it?
finishing
You'll
the story,
never hear
finally
those
failing
words come
once.
out of my
This is
mouth.
his last chance. And
Absolutely
think about all those
never.
other wrestlers who got involved
What
in that
what kind of
plot, too.
adult man's
Hardy,
gonna ask a
Bravo,
bunch of
and
other
Triple
people for
H.
money
Yeah.
so he
When
can
Cody
buy a
finally
toy
overcame and
that
he
he
won,
can
had The
open
Rock
on
was
his
involved
fucking
in it with the
stream,
night one
Phil?
match and everything.
Good
That's
lord.
crazy build. Maybe the arguably that's one of the best, if not the best build they've done for any kind of a match or series of matches at WrestleMania. And maybe they don't know what to do to try to get back to that level. It did seem like a big rush this year. For example, last year, so many wrestlers were involved in the plot. Think about how many people got involved with that whole plot line. Who would be involved with Cody Rhodes versus John Cena this year? Like, who would even do a run-in in that match? Can you think of a single person who has some kind of a vested, besides The Rock, maybe? Who else would even run in? You know, it just seems like it's just those two guys.
Yeah. I mean, people theorizing Austin, you know, they theorize that Austin might do a run-in, Stone Cold. I mean, the thought was last year was that when Undertaker came out, it was supposed to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. So the thought is that, you know, you have John Cena and Cody, right? It's like the face of this generation versus the face of the previous generation. Well, the face of the generation before that, Stone Cold Steve Austin, could come out and make it, you know, kill the old to let the new come in, I guess. But that's about all you got. And I personally, I think you could do something interesting, but I'm more interested in the post WrestleMania with Cena. I don't think Cody's winning, but I mean, if Cody wins, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It could be fine. It could be fun. You know, he could keep being champion. He could keep doing his reign. Right. But I think they've kind of exhausted what they can do with Cody as champion. Personally, they've done basically. I mean, unfortunately, most of his reign was marred by the Solo Sikoa, which, by the way, Solo Sikoa was like the main character bad guy of WWE for the entire summer, and he's not even on WrestleMania. Like,
yeah,
what happened to the guy? It's like, did he just do that bad? It's like, we're just gonna give up on the guy. They committed so much to him, and it just went nowhere.
And he's dumped, right? It's weird for me because the first piece of wrestling I saw getting back into WWE was Raw on Netflix, and it was the big Solo Sikoa versus Roman match. I was like, oh, okay, I'm there for it. I see the match. Okay, great match. And then he just like vanished, and he came back later, and he's not really involved in anything. He just, you know, he's an afterthought or a side thought. Yeah, I guess so. I guess they felt like he didn't win over the crowds, and because of that, they had no confidence in him. Instead, now it's Jacob Fatu getting all the attention on that group.
Yeah, which he's probably the better wrestler, so I mean, makes sense. You know, he'll have a good match with who's he wrestling? Oh God, I spaced it because there's so much stuff on the.
I know, because what's happened is they shuffled that around. they shuffled the whole who's going to face like Braun Breaker, and then it was going to be Braun Strowman, but then it's LA Knight. It's like, wait, what? So I think it's LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, and I guess Braun's out. Like, I thought Braun would be in it. It would be like a triple threat. But yeah, it's official because we're now what we'll do is we'll get into the actual cards now, each match breaking down what we think about.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're going to get to that in a few. I guess we'll start now. And by the way, guys, thanks. You're a great audience tonight. People actually talking about wrestling in chat. I appreciate it. It would be great if you could support the stream in some way tonight. Anything appreciated right now. Super chats, tips, memberships, subs, anything would be great. Okay? Okay. So night one, which is Saturday, April 19th.
Oh my god, he does. Bro, do you guys know a guy by the name of Andrew Ditch? The guy that talks like this and says, "Oh, you say I fake. I not fake. You're telling me you don't want to wipe my ass? I not fake." That guy. The poop squatch. Yep. Look at this fat bitch and tell me they weren't separated at birth. Just close your eyes. Right? Picture Andrew Ditch and this guy in your mind. And then listen. I not fake. You're telling me you don't want to wipe my ass, but I not fake. I don't have autism. That's it. I don't want my diaper. Just think of it. They look the same. Good job, Phil. You got the poop squatch on your team.
This is the order they're going to go with. For example, I remember
WrestleMania, maybe, probably not. I just don't care about wrestling, but I know my brother will call me to tell me about it, so I'll probably end up knowing something about it.
Order of these things at any moment, but this is how they've got it listed. So the first match, funny enough, War Raiders versus the New Day for the World Tag Team titles, the Raw Tag Team Championships. Okay, and funny enough, the way I said we were going to do this, we're going to talk about, all the story and the build-up leading to this match. What story? There's no story to this, right? It was just like a momentary thought that New Day is now heels. They want a title match.
Does.
Like one match, and now all of a sudden
what's the uncle's name in the Addams family?
Yeah. The New Day had their heel turn. I think that was the first episode of Raw.
Chunk from the Goonies all grown up. Yeah.
Way early on, yeah.
Months ago.
Uncle Fester. That's his name. Medusa Jr. had it.
A couple promos. And they've done nothing for months. You know, they've been there. They've done a couple segments, but they haven't had a storyline. And now they're chasing the tag titles. It would have made a lot more sense if they were tag champs. If they were chasing. They did some heel stuff to be tag champs going in. It's always better to have a heel team go in as champion, you know. Right. And retain if they want to keep them as champs. Then I'm assuming they're going to win the titles. I don't know what the point of keeping them on the War Raiders is because they're not going anywhere either. I don't know. It's bizarre. New Day was so over as a tag team, even just like 3 or 4 years ago when they had the trios with Big E, and even after Big E left, they were still really popular. And they were the longest reigning tag champs. They were the first ones to break Demolition streak, and I don't think this heel. The first time they did the heel turn was shocking. It was like, whoa. But the long reign, the long term of that is so far not been great. Maybe they'll turn around after they win the titles. I could see them being pretty good heel champs. But no, frankly, the WWE doesn't, and it's not just WWE. No wrestling company really gives a shit about the tag team divisions that they have right now. Like none. There's no. New Japan doesn't. Maybe some Mexican wrestling company does. I don't know. But New Japan doesn't. AEW doesn't. WWE doesn't. I don't really think TNA does. You know, maybe NXT does. I don't know. I don't really watch NXT right now.
I don't either. Yeah.
There's no one.
The problem I see with this match is, I'm not saying it's not going to be a good match. I actually think it will be a great match in the ring. I really believe that War Raiders and New Day will put on a really great technical, high-flying, high-impact match. It'll be very entertaining. If this is the curtain jerker, I think it's a good match to have curtain jerk because it could get the crowd into the wrestling vibe, right? But take a look at the War Raiders, who were brought up. First, they were War Machine when they were in the Indies or whatever. They brought him to WWE. We can't have you have that name. That's Marvel Comics will sue the fuck out of us. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't be War Machine anymore. You got to be the War Raiders.
Did you know that Hulk Hogan is still paying Marvel to this day for the name Hulk? Are you shitting me? You think some fucking low level B grade fucking tag team wrestling shit in the WWE in the modern age is gonna pay millions of dollars to use the name War Machine? Get the hell out of here, bro. Mm-hmm.
So they bring him in NXT
For the name
hot.
Hulk.
They're
Yeah.
really powerful. They're just
He's still
dominating
paying
NXT.
them.
They win the titles and all of that. They bring them to the main roster. You can't be the War Machine anymore. Or excuse me, you can't be the War Raiders anymore because that was NXT. So now you're the Viking Raiders. And that was just like the dumbest fucking choice they could have possibly made. I think we can all agree.
It was even worse when they first started because it wasn't the Viking Raiders, it was the Viking Experience.
Oh,
that was
God.
what they were first. They were first the Viking Experience, and then they decide, okay, that's horrible. You can be the Viking Raiders. That's fine.
Like,
and
we get like War Machine is cool because it's like, all right, we understand they're not really Vikings, but they're badasses, right? So they get in there, they're kicking ass. We don't need them to actually act like fucking Vikings. Like, we're not 4 years old. This isn't the 1980s anymore. This is the dumbest thing to get them on TV and not do the NXT angle, right? So stupid.
Right.
This whole thing is fucking stupid, Phil. What are you talking about?
Which was a great
This is
gimmick
some of the
because they were
worst
two
content
really
I've
big,
ever
powerful
seen
guys.
in my life.
Big, powerful, fat guys who did crazy power moves.
Right.
And they dressed in cool gear. They had cool like armor and face paint. They look like, wow. It's you know, it's what's it called? Legion of Doom, right? It's just the same thing.
Right.
But modern day. And that's fine. I think they had a good gimmick, and I always hope they can turn things around with people they've soured. But every time WWE sours on someone, there's like a stank left on them. I'm not sure if you feel this way. Like once they like fuck something up, it's really hard to unfuck it.
Yeah.
It's hard to like get over your head. Like,
can you fix your audio?
It's always in the nagging in the back of your head. But you know that they've turned other things around. That they've overcome. People have been in worse positions and overcome it. So I'm hopeful this will be a fun match. I think it's a great way to start. You know, excitement, fast paced. That's good shit.
I think that's why, like I said, there's no build up. That's why it doesn't seem as exciting as it should be, because the War Raiders literally don't have a storyline. They don't. They have nothing. They're the champions, and people try to beat them, and they stop them, and then they're on to the next. They're on to the next.
Dude, they're booing him in his
force behind
chat.
them. There's no build here. New Day are villains. That's great. Why? What's the deal there? Nothing. They're just villains, and they want the title. So
they're
hopefully
booing him in his
WrestleMania,
chat,
they'll
bro.
recover. Whoever ends
Bro,
up
I
winning
had to
this
turn my air
will
conditioner
have
off.
a storyline. They'll start taking the tag team seriously. But if that's a curtain jerker, I get it. That'll get exciting. People excited for the wrestling. But certainly, plot-wise, there's nothing there of any substance. On the flip side of that, the next match does have some substance.
This is
Rey
live,
Mysterio
bro.
Versus El Grande Americano. Okay? And
yes,
for those who don't know, El Grande Americano is now the alter ego of Chad Gable. Chad Gable just kept losing to luchadors, notably Rey Mysterio or people in the LWO for a while. And he felt like he had to leave and re-find himself. That was the plot. He apparently went to Mexico and he found some guy who hands him this luchador's mask, but it's apparently has the American flag on it. And now he basically cosplays as like a luchador every week, even though most of his moves are still the same moves that he used to use anyway. So I like the plot line. It's funny. This is the comedy plot line, right? And I think when done well, a comedy plot line can work. I feel happy, and here's why. When I was watching WWE years ago, before I quit for like 5 years, Chad Gable was like bottom of the barrel, completely being misused constantly. He was the one who was jobbing to Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin was making fun of him constantly, all kinds of shit like that. It was like unbearable crap, okay? Now to see him in a stable, the stable is solid. He's got a fun plot line going. He's a great wrestler. I'm liking it. But Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, I think it'll be a fun one-off match. But the problem here is it doesn't really matter. Like, there's no stakes involved. It would have been cool if, like, you know, loser loses their luchador mask or something silly like that. But it's just a regular match. It feels like this is the beginning of a build to something rather than the end. And at WrestleMania, you want this to be the end of a story. It doesn't feel to me like this is the end of a story. So.
Right. See, frankly, the obvious it should be a mask versus mask match. I mean, what are they gonna build at SummerSlam and do the match have like to continue this feud until SummerSlam? We're gonna have to listen. Comedy storylines are good, but they have to not be super drawn out and long. Is my thing, right? They're very funny at first, but the more you repeat the angles, like telling a joke over and over again, then it's not funny anymore. Right. So you can be. It's funny the first couple weeks, and then, you know, if this is like a month-long storyline, they need to get the mask off of, you know, El Grande Americano right away. Now, the funny thing to do would be to take the mask off.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Right, they somehow find a way to get someone who looks just like, has the exact same physique as Chad Gable. Maybe they got someone in NXT who looks just like him, and they take it off, and it's not him. That would be like, everyone would lose their shit. But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
No, I don't. And will someone be unmasked at WrestleMania? I don't know. If they do, like if Chad Gable gets unmasked, then it's kind of like, what was the point of this whole plot? Because it ended so quick, you know? So I feel like maybe there will be some antics there. There's obviously going to be interference in the match from each stable. Honestly, who do I want to win? Obviously, I want El Grande Americano to win. I want this plot to continue. I want to see antics every week with this guy, but I don't know what they're going for. Who do you think will win the match?
Oh, I think frankly, it's going to be Ray. I don't think Ray's losing. Ray, I think you're going to have the babyface go over. You don't want to like have the, it's WrestleMania. It's supposed to be like a feel-good show, right? Yeah. For the most part, especially since I think Cena's going to win, and it's going to be a heel closing the show. I think you have Ray win this, and probably through some cheating, but you might be right. If we're going by, if this wasn't WrestleMania, if this was like, you know, the Elimination Chamber this match is happening at, I would for sure say
you guys are fucking.
But you know, this may be the final match that they're having. This may be the finish of the story. Just they're doing it early. Yeah. And if that's the case, I would say Ray wins. But
I would say Ray wins.
I can see going either way.
And the funny part is, it doesn't really matter anyway, because there was no stakes. There's no title. It's not mask versus mask, so it really could go either way and doesn't really affect stuff. So, okay. The next match for night one, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Oddly enough, no stipulation, no special thing. It's just a match. And I thought for sure that when they finally announced, you know, this is going to be the match at WrestleMania, that it was going to be like a grudge match, a no holds barred, or, you know, last woman standing match or something like that, considering the fact that supposedly it was Naomi who took out Jade back in the fall and cost her all this time off TV. And now these heated back and forth promos that they've been doing, you know, Naomi saying she did the right thing, that Jade was basically trying to steal Bianca's thunder.
182, we're going down.
That and all of that.
We're going down in viewers.
Caution, right, or whatever. Caution tape all over her body or whatever. Proceed with caution.
You think,
honestly,
Andrew?
My take on it is, I think it'll be an.
Who
okay
is he
match,
wrestling against?
I'm not looking forward to it that much. Once again, doesn't seem like there's any stakes on the line. If it was a Extreme Rules match or last woman standing.
Cody
match,
Rhodes, that's his name. For some reason, I couldn't place his fucking name. I had to think of
Jade
his dad.
Doesn't look polished to me. I've only seen her for a few matches right now. She doesn't seem very polished to me.
Jade Cargill's very attractive, though.
She has the power, but she just doesn't have that finesse yet. Naomi's been in the business now for a while. She's fast. She could pull off some moves. I don't know if these two have a style that's going to click. I almost feel like this will be the botch fest of WrestleMania 41. You know,
this is going to be a very sloppy match. This is going to be extremely choreographed. So, I mean, I've watched, you know, I'm a big AEW guy, so I've watched all of Jade's run AEW.
Okay. And
she was presented very well there. She had a good presentation, but she never clicked in the ring quite yet. She was getting there. And in the AEW, she was doing more matches every week on TV and obviously off TV. So she was doing more in the ring. WWE has very much protected her and not had her do matches, which I think has been a mistake. You need to have her wrestle more because she's too green. She's not quite there yet in the ring where she can click. So I think
the irony of a dude that looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy telling women who are that athletic that they need to be better.
Right? She's the new star they want to put over, but I don't know if they see a real future in her because I don't think she's gonna be able to get at the level they want her to perform in the ring.
Right.
I think this is either gonna be you're right. It's gonna be a horrible botch fest, very sloppy and messy, or it's gonna be like the most choreographed to perfection, where all the moves have been like planned out and rehearsed ahead of time for like a month plus. They probably have done this match in a ring already multiple times already. to prepare. Will be my guess what's going to happen. Will it be good? Probably not. Will it be? Will it mean anything in the long run? I think whoever wins this match is gonna fight. It's probably gonna go against Bianca next. I don't want to spoil anything. I think Bianca's probably winning the title, and I think this is who's gonna fight Bianca next. Would be my guess. I think this is a feud, a singles feud to set up. You know, Naomi and Jade. It's just a setup for Jade probably and Bianca later on, which is the big money match. You probably do it either
But the
next week
title,
WrestleMania,
probably
SummerSlam,
not.
maybe, or like Royal Rumble or something.
Right.
That's a big money match. It's two big, muscly black women just clashing. It's a.
But I've never been a fan of John Cena. I always preferred Batista to John Cena.
I agree. And I'll say this, no matter who wins this match, I hope it's the only match. I hope they don't go, oh, let's have rematch after rematch of Jade versus Naomi. Please, Lord,
the
no.
best of 7.
Just let them have
Best
the
of
one at
7
WrestleMania.
series.
Then let them move on. Let them both move on to other plots. I'd be happy with that. I actually don't care who wins, but I agree. It does seem like probably they're trying to get them both into a title picture situation. Let's see what happens. Okay. So the next one, LA Knight defending the U.S. title against Jacob Fatu. And it's just weird to me because, so what happened to Braun? I just don't, like, I get it. Like, Jacob, like, fucked him up a week or two ago in the ring or whatever, repeated butt strikes in the ring, hip strikes in the turnbuckle again, that he splashed on him, he's the fake blood again. But, so now he's just gone because really the buildup since January was Braun versus Jacob. You know, Braun got destroyed by him. So then Braun took him out of the Rumble. So then Jacob got him back, and then Braun got back. And then LA Knight kind of got thrown in there, holding the title. And, okay, these guys, at some point, so they're going to wrestle you for the title. LA Knight keeps saving Braun when the new bloodline keeps kind of trying to jump him and stuff. And then all of a sudden, it was just announced, like, this last week, yeah, it's just a singles match, LA Knight versus Jacob for the title. With the big question mark in the match is, what will happen with the new bloodline? Because that last show, there was huge tensions between Solo and Jacob, where basically Jacob
Hung chewing over here,
Solo
guys.
being in charge, interjecting himself into matches. I mean, at one point, he cost Jacob a match, you know, which he would have been the #1 contender because he got him DQ'd and stuff.
Oh
and
my
so
Lord.
I guess the question is, will it be a match?
Boys,
where
this
Jacob
is
looks like he's about to
actually
win
boring.
and Solo gets
I'm
involved,
sorry
and
I'm
it costs him a match,
subjecting
or
you
maybe
guys to
turns on him.
this.
Maybe they'll turn on him after the match if he loses. Is this the breaking up of the new bloodline? I think that's what WWE is really going for, is the end game here. That's the focus. Not necessarily does Jacob win the title, but does the new bloodline stay together after what happens at WrestleMania? For me, I haven't seen much of LA Knight. I've only seen, you know,
I'm gonna say I do apologize. I was gonna get back into wrestling so I could talk about it with you guys, but I can't. I don't care about it. It's past my time with it. I think.
I get that. I think Jacob Fatu is more exciting. I like seeing this guy, this up and coming Samoan he's fast. He's got great moves. They're building him as a monster, despite the fact he's actually not even that big of a guy. They've built him as a monster that can beat monsters. I want to see Jacob beat LA Knight, and then maybe the bloodline turns on him and the plot line becomes it's Jacob versus the bloodline. Maybe that's the next thing. It's Jacob versus Solo for the U.S. title. But I want to see Jacob win this match. I hope he does, but I'm nervous that WWE
Bro, what
will
the
say,
fuck
"Do the
is
screw
that
job, have Solo
sound?
screw him, and then it starts that plot line instead. We'll see.
You
I
guys
think
hear
what you
something
said
like a
more
cat or something?
Shit.
I
I
keep
think LA
hearing
Knight-
something meow.
So LA Knight has had a really great run up until The Rock came back at last year's WrestleMania at Royal Rumble. You know, post Royal Rumble, right? When after Cody ran, it was last year. He was doing really good. He was really hot. You know, he had great charisma. Everyone's like, oh, he's so great. And then The Rock comes back. It's like, oh wait, LA Knight's just doing The Rock. It became very clear, but they kind of put him on the back burner. They kind of put him to the side. But now he's starting to get a resurgence again. He's very popular. And I think what we've seen with this whole WrestleMania show, and we'll get to this with Jay and Gunther, they're definitely taking time to push and go with people who the fans like, right? Who the fans are getting behind, who the fans buy merch for. They're taking things like merch sales and the chants and the reaction, the crowd reaction. They're really focusing on that with how they're building this show. especially this year's WrestleMania, more so than any WrestleMania in a long time, actually. So for that reason, I think they're going to keep the title on LA Knight, because I think he's a guy who's very marketable. He's got the Slim Jim commercials. He's got a lot of stuff, and people really like him. The fans love the guy. He's a very fun guy to be in the crowd chanting with, right, and doing his stuff. So I think for storyline reasons, you might be right. Solo maybe should win. It might be a better long-term thing, but it's probably likely that not Solo. Jacob,
yeah.
I'm getting them all.
It's okay.
There's so many Samoans. it's so confusing. I see Solo.
That's racist.
Of this match and costing him.
That's racist.
I think you do the big storylines here. Either that, or you do it on the Raw. You have Solo win it.
What do you have against Samoans?
Raw after Mania.
Have it be like the classic Evolution moment where Randy won the title, and then the next night they turned on him on Raw. Batista had him on his shoulders. It drops him during the celebration. Yes. Maybe that kind of classic screw job. I could see that the next day, like the two of them, Tama and Solo, team up and beat the crap out of him. And there is a strong rumor that I guess they signed another one of the Samoan family, and they're on the way up. And this might be the next hot guy that they're going to recruit
Zilla?
to the new bloodline. Whoever it is. Someone mentioned it a week or two ago on the show, and I was like, see, I didn't know that. I'm not in the know on all the behind-the-scenes signings and everything. But apparently, there's a big Samoan newcomer that may join the family. And so
join the family.
Jacob out, and it could be those three against Jacob moving forward.
Because nobody gives a shit. This is the most boring shit ever.
I guess it is what it is.
Bro, this shit is so boring, it killed my chat.
I'm okay with LA Knight still being the U.S. champion. Just I wanted to see Jacob.
Are you guys alive? Do I need to send in the paramedics?
To have him hold the title. Okay, now this one. Now I am actually very curious to hear your thoughts, particularly on this next match. All right, Tiffany Stratton defending the women's title against Charlotte Flair. I'm not even going to say anything. I want to hear your take on this first before I say a word about it, because I got a good amount to say. So what do you think about this whole build-up, this plot line, and this match?
So Charlotte wins the Rumble.
You need butt cream.
Charlotte it makes way more sense than going for Rhea again, right? And everything kind of moving kind of slow. It's not that interesting of a build. They're not really doing much to, stuff happens and they go back and forth, and then all of a sudden the show we were supposed to the SmackDown we were supposed to cover last week, which happened 2 weeks ago now. Yeah. Right. And Charlotte just loses the script in Chicago. It's so embarrassing. I don't know. People are saying that they're gonna start shooting on each other, and I think they probably turned it into they probably fixed their stuff and it's gonna be a work shoot now or something. They're gonna do some kind of work shoot angle now, but that segment was so bad. It was painful to watch live. It was a painfully bad. It was obviously Charlotte got rocked and she went off. She couldn't handle the people booing her too loud or whatever the fuck. Right.
Because she sucks. And she's incredibly bad at what she does.
And then Tiffany fires back with the, you've been divorced 3 times stuff. And it's just oh man. I think this is going to be a shit show of a match. If it goes off without it, if it's no problems, it will be a miracle. There's going to be something that goes horribly wrong. It's either going to be incredibly disastrous and eventful, or it might probably just be boring. It'll be my guess.
Oh my god.
That leads to nothing.
Vexer, man, I always appreciate you. You always come through and have such nice things to say, man. Yeah, thank you.
The way I see it, first of all, I think the entire thing's been a complete fail shit show. Okay, since the beginning. She won the Rumble, and you don't know who she's gonna wrestle. And that's when I started watching WWE again, was January. I didn't know who this Tiffany Stratton was. I didn't know about her whole she's like Barbie or whatever, is a character or whatever. And then I started watching SmackDown about a month and a half ago to prepare for WrestleMania. And the plot between these two, it's so bad. The writing has been bad every time that they have a face-to-face. When they do their individual promos, it's not as bad. But the moment that they don't know why I found that so funny. They're from different planets. They don't even connect at all in any way with any of the dialogue they've had back and forth. It's just this weird disconnect botch fest. And every time it's cringeworthy. God, they're doing another interview with these two. Please don't. I don't want another promo. you know, and now it's gotten to the point where it got so, like you said, in Chicago, it got so bad, that being the culmination of just every encounter they've had has been cringeworthy. You kind of like are like, you want to see the train wreck that's going to be WrestleMania just to see how the hell this is going to happen. But the sad fact is, it's a freaking title match too. Like, it's an actual title match that might actually be the worst match of the show because it's been such a bad build, bad promo. The storyline makes no sense anymore. I can't even see these two having a match without having tons of problems. I think there's going to be botches. Yeah. I think there's going to be stiff hits. I think there's going to be all kinds of issues. And at the end of the day, I'll be honest.
It's hard to make this guy interesting.
I just don't. I don't think that she's been that good of a character and that good of a wrestler. But at the same time, I also don't want Charlotte to be the champion either, because we've been there, done that 7,000 times. And what's the point of just giving her the belt another time? You know, who would be the next person to challenge and beat her? I have no idea, because they're not really building anyone. So I don't know and don't really care. I hate saying that about a title match at WrestleMania, that I don't really care about it. But it actually upsets me that they've done nothing in these months of buildup to find a way to make this interesting. In fact, every time they tried, they just made it worse. So, I mean, realistically, I think Tiffany will win. I actually do. But I don't think it's going to be fun. I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be like, everyone's going to be disappointed with the outcome no matter what happens.
Let me get your thoughts on this. On the Chicago promo, I think Charlotte might have been drunk. Maybe even high. I think she was on some kind of thing. The way she was talking, the way she was behaving, I don't think she was all quite there. I think she was on. That was not just someone getting just rattled. I think she's on some. Maybe it's. I don't want to say pills, but I think she might have been drunk. I think maybe she's been having a little bit too much sips of stuff to get her nerves ready or something, and it just went. She seemed sloshed. She's talking like she wasn't like slurring her words or anything.
Yeah,
but
my take is, Charlotte, still to this day, she's been in this company now for over a decade, right? And she's had highs and lows. She's had times that people love her and times that people don't like her. But typically when people don't like her, it's because that's her character. Now I think it's the first time she's actually starting to realize people actually don't like her. Like, she's getting the heat like Logan Paul, right? They're booing her during her promo. Just shut up. We don't like you. We don't want to hear it. And I actually think she can't handle it. Like, I feel like she's actually legit felt disrespected in Chicago when people wouldn't let her do her promo and were booing so loudly, and it made her get so rattled that she cracked. And that's the problem, is if she's going to be at the top of the card, you can't crack. You have to be able to handle whatever's thrown your way. You have to adjust on the fly. When you're in a match, something can go wrong. You need to be able to adjust on the fly.
This guy.
I don't know. I mean, she's been in the company a long time. She's been the champion so many times. And to see her falling apart at this point, you know, and like you said, it got personal where you had Tiffany saying stuff about she got divorced so many times and stuff. Maybe that, you know, was part of it. She knew that was part of the promo and she didn't agree with it. And they said, no, fuck it. We're doing it anyway. Who knows? But to me, I don't think she was on something. I definitely see this as like
definitely. What was that? I definitely
losing her cool on the grand stage in front of everyone.
The grand stage.
And you got to wonder how that's going to translate into the WrestleMania match. So, who do you think's going to win?
No one cares what Cartman thinks.
I think Tiffany's winning. I think Charlotte might have been the original plan, but at this point, I don't see how I can put the belt on Charlotte, especially after that fuck up. I just, you know, whatever the plans were, I would get Charlotte off TV as soon as possible and let her cool off, let her shit figure it out.
Sure thing there, speech
get her
impediment.
away from the title picture.
What's wrong with you?
Not going good.
The only way I could see them spinning it positively for them is if she wins, but then they change her character to be like a nutcase. Like, her actual character is, I'm crazy, I'm unhinged, I can't even, I'm not in control anymore. But I don't even think she would want to do that.
That'd be good.
I feel like for her,
I think
she would hate that idea. Like, no, I'm supposed to be the queen. I'm supposed to be, she actually thinks big shit in her head about herself because she's a Flair. I don't think she would ever go for that,
It would be a good angle. It would be a fun angle, but I don't see it happening either. I think you move past it and you do something else with Tiffany Stratton, but I don't know what you do. I think WWE's got a women's division problem overall. Like, I'm not a big fan of women's wrestling, to be honest. I don't particularly care for it. It's not my favorite thing. I think a lot of it's pretty bad, but they don't have, despite having a lot of people on their payroll, they don't have a lot of main event roster talent depth that they can turn to, which is why Charlotte's in the main event position to begin with, right? Because, like, Who do you bring in to face Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania?
They need Becky Lynch
Charlotte.
back, and she hasn't been on for a while. You know, people thought she was going to be back, and then Alexa came back, and then took the time off right away again. So yeah, they really don't have that person right now. You're correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Finish the thought.
I mean, you'd say the NXT women's roster is doing well. They brought like Roxanne Perez up, but I don't see that being a good feud for Tiffany Stratton. Like, I just don't see who you put against her in the long term. I think realistically, they probably should take it off her and put it on Charlotte because she could have more interesting feuds. But who do you have face Tiffany next? Nia Jax, right?
Right.
It's
I know. Yeah. Who
I know-
also has been on.
I'm
time
still
for a
trying
long
to
time,
figure out
right?
who
Like,
the
yeah,
fuck
exactly.
this
Like,
guy
there's no one.
is.
Who's next in line? I have no clue. I legit have no idea
Yes.
where this is going after WrestleMania.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this one is just, I'm sorry. It's funny to me. Okay. Gunther defending the World Heavyweight title against main event Jey Uso. And now, after 3-4 months since Jey has won the Royal Rumble, it's official. Main event Jey Uso isn't in the main event of WrestleMania.
No.
He's not in any level of main event, even though he's wrestling for a title. He's been downgraded. He's probably going to be like either next to last match. Some people are speculating this will actually be the curtain jerker. Like, this will literally be like when it was Daniel Bryan against Sheamus many years ago, just kind of swept under the rug, and maybe it'll be a real fast match, just get it done with.
Or like Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35, which I was at. And there is the argument that people say that the most important match in the show is the last match, but the second most important is the first match. People do say that, but it's also the curtain jerker. You're right. And putting the world title in the curtain jerker, I think. Can I do a little rant about Jey Uso and this whole fucking build quick? I do something I want to get off my chest.
Go right
A
ahead.
little quick rant about Jey Uso, and then I'll let you talk what you got to say about it. But Jey Uso is an extremely over wrestler for people who are live in the building. He is a terrible television character. He is not interesting as a person you watch on TV. When you are there live, if you're in the crowd and you're doing his chants, you're doing all stuff with him, he's probably a very entertaining, fun thing, right? But sitting at home, watching him on TV, watching him do his promos, watching him do this build to WrestleMania, watching him wrestle all his matches in the build to WrestleMania, it is a
Is he begging for
boring
cards
slog
again?
to get through. He is not a fun thing to watch on TV. It's like I have to watch all these people doing the fucking hand things and him going yeet. This is so bad TV. It's just fucking shit TV. But he sells amazing merch and he's
Yeah,
with
this
the crowd. So I get
this
why
show
they've
is
done it.
pretty bad.
I get why they have him win the Royal Rumble. Like, from a logical perspective, the guy who's selling the most merch and is the most popular, gets the loudest live reactions should be your main eventer. But there's this disconnect with, like, and people say it's the online audience. I don't think it's just the online audience. I think it's the people who aren't in the building audience, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And they almost fixed the storyline when they had Gunther bloody Jimmy. When he had him and he was pounding on him, he was bloodying him up. That was really good. Sink your teeth into this. We're finally getting a real story for this match, right? And then the next week, they kind of just have Jey come out and cut a promo on him. And it's like, what the if you watched your brother like get beaten to a bloody pulp in front of you, would you not just come and beat the shit out of the guy who did that?
I
Why are you
agree.
coming down and talking to them? It's ridiculous. They should have had they shouldn't have probably talked
Not
to
about
Tony
this
week.
moron
They
and what
should have
he's
had a
saying.
walk to the back brawl. They should have had like 2 separate promos. Like, they should have had Jey still be in the hospital.
Dude, gotta fuck. We should definitely just like round up all the lol cows. All of us pitch in a little bit of money. Put them on an island and then let them Hunger Games each other.
Like some recovery surgery or something. You know, that would have been.
We'll
really
see who wins at that
fun
point.
and exciting.
I'm pretty sure Cyrax would
now
win.
Gunther can be like watching on the screen. He's like shook.
He doesn't have shoulders,
Instead,
so
like,
he's like
Jey just
less
saying
of
to
a
his face,
target to
it's like,
hit.
who
So
cares?
I feel like his Wile E.
I think
Coyote
if he needs
face,
to talk to me,
his
it needs to be
like.
physical. It needs to have like emotion and energy, and it just doesn't have that.
How
And
would
it's
you
not the main event.
describe his body?
And I feel bad.
He
for
looks
Gunther,
like
'cause he
a
deserves better,
ditto
'cause he's an
if it
amazing
tried to
wrestler. He's an
mimic a
amazing world
human.
champion.
Completely
But
agree there. Yes, he does deserve
he
better
had
than
a-
this. This has been ass these last 3.5 months. It really has been.
Yeah, everything
frankly,
you do is
his
pretty shit,
whole
bro.
World Heavyweight Championship run has a serious downgrade from his Intercontinental Championship run. He was well more respected, doing better, more high-profile matches as the Intercontinental Champion than he was as the World Heavyweight Champion, which is insane. It should be a huge upgrade, but it's almost been like a downgrade.
It has been.
And he's going to go from being last year in WrestleMania, having the best in-ring match at WrestleMania, probably, arguably, to now wrestling the guy who had the worst in-ring match at last year's WrestleMania. You know, it's like, oh, I feel bad for him, but Jay's winning. He's gonna win, and we're all gonna go yeet. All the fans of Las Vegas are gonna go yeet, yeet.
I really
So, my
hate
take on this
everything
is
that you're
the
choosing to
problem
do
with
right
the
now.
plot line with Jey Uso has been, it's very simple. He wins the Rumble. The next night, he's white hot popular. He's running out there. The whole crowd's going crazy, right? But then immediately what starts happening is plot lines where he doubts himself. He's botching, and they make that part of the plot that, oh, can he really do it? He better man up and be tougher if he's going to beat Gunther. And when you do that to the guy who you just started to build momentum behind, everyone's excited now because he won the Rumble, already you've killed the momentum. And then you have plot lines where you've got Jimmy coming in, and they're going to have tag matches, and then it's Jimmy and Gunther and stuff. If they had kept that
Tony
hype
Jason
behind him
night.
since
I
January and just kept
forgot.
rolling with it. Have him do a series of matches that are actually interesting matches. People who you don't think
I
he could
forgot
beat, but he could
about
beat.
Tony
Have him
chasing
beat
his
big men. Have him
ultimate
beat
powered
shit. Have him
satellite,
beat
bro.
Solo Sikoa, right? Have him just beat people left
He could
and
just
right
boil
who
people's teeth and
previously you
innards
think
and all
they're
that
he's
shit
not on the
from
level, but
space.
he's now proving himself
And he doesn't
night
even
after
have to
night,
know where they
week after
are.
week, that he can actually
You
hang with
got me
Gunther.
there,
Because
bro.
the truth is, he's lost to Gunther, what, 3 times
I
already?
forgot
So
about
we don't
Tony
believe that he
Chase.
can beat Gunther. He lost to Gunther at Saturday night's main event right before the Royal Rumble. So it's not believable that he's going to beat Gunther. So do that plot line. Instead, it's just all over the place. It's, I don't know if I believe in myself. This week I'm confident. The next week I'm not confident. Now my brother has to get involved, but now he's not in it anymore. He's getting bloodied, but now I'm going to be a sissy and just talk to someone. It's just sad. It's not a good build, in my opinion. I think the way that they redeem it, they do curtain jerk. Jay goes out there and literally beats the shit out of Gunther, like just overwhelms him with quick moves. Boom, boom, pins him. It's over. It's like a 60-second match. And yes, that's bad for Gunther. But what'll happen is all the J marks will go fucking crazy. All the J marks in the arena will be yeeting like crazy, and the whole place will go nuts. And then they could get into a few more downer matches, and then it'll be over. It's not this lingering shit. Like, we have to get this match over, and how's it going to go? If this is like a long, drawn-out match between Jay and Gunther, I actually think it's not going to work because we all know Gunther's the better wrestler. We're not stupid. We know that if it was really a test of technical skill,
Jay.
Exactly, it would
Oh,
make,
here
make
we
Jay
go,
look bad.
bro.
It's going to make Gunther look good, and then why is Jay winning? I don't understand.
Because you're
The whole thing's been a shit show
stupid.
since the beginning.
You're
They were gonna build it.
stupid. That's
He
why.
had to become
If you don't understand
new
it, then it's
hype
probably
guy.
good.
the new Super Cena kind of guy to get this win and it be believable. They've not done that. They just dropped it, botched it over and over and over. And now I don't care about the match. To be honest, I don't care about the match. We all know Jay's winning. If he
Oops,
doesn't
excuse
win,
me.
then it was all for naught anyway. Wow, what a waste of a Royal Rumble. If he wins, I still don't care because I still don't believe it. I still don't believe that he could beat Gunther. It was just because they wanted this to be their hype man and the guy who sells merch. So, yeah, pretty sad, but I agree with you. Jay's definitely winning. I guess it's just a matter of when the match happens and how fast it goes. So,
Yeah, I see this lasting long. I don't think it's gonna be a short match. I wish.
Oh,
wish
yeah,
you're
I
right.
don't
think
see
that
this
means
lasting
we're
much
ending
longer
all super
either.
Short, but for some reason, I see this being like second or third to last match. I think maybe third to last, but like there'll be probably a filler match between this and the actual main event.
Bro, I
And,
think after the stream
I
tonight,
think
I'm gonna
it's
play
be
Devil
long
May
drawn
Cry
out where
5.
Gunther's gonna beat
I'm
down,
gonna
he's
play it
back
on
and from
PC
behind
so
and
I can
valiantly overcome.
play it with ray tracing.
But, I hope you're right. I mean, be probably more excited if you were right.
I want to see, there was a super chat that came in from Old
Like an
Ugly
hour
Bastard.
ago.
It was $10. I just want to give him a shout out there. Thank you, Old Ugly Bastard. Guys, we're going to be going. We have one more match to talk about night 1, and then we're going through all of night 2, and that's the show. If you've enjoyed the wrestling commentary
No
tonight, please
way.
support the show in any way, whether it's
No
a super
way.
chat, a tip,
We are live.
membership,
We are
sub,
close
all
to
that helps.
live.
Would be great if we
I think you realistically should have hot shot the title maybe off of Gunther or something. Or
They're
they
still
should have been a
going
title
on
fight,
about
right?
this
If they were
stupid
fighting over a world
Gunther
title,
match.
This would have been a much more interesting. Like, I want this champion. I want to walk out of this match as world champion. There's something
For
for
sure.
it.
Yeah.
But obviously they haven't done that, and so it's just a storyline. I just want to beat the other guy. I think
Good boy. Lay down.
I think the whole like
Fat butt.
concept of I want to be in the main event of
That's what we
WrestleMania,
call you,
the
big
whole,
guy.
like,
The
crux
fat
of
butt.
CM Punk character.
You're
It's a
like
bit silly.
600
It
pounds.
shouldn't be that you want to be in the main event. It should be I want to win the main event, right? It shouldn't be just like I'm here, I've made it to the top. It's gotta be I want to come out on top. I want to beat everyone else. The story of every match should be I want to beat the other guy at its very core, right? Whereas the payoff for CM Punk was already, well, I just want to be in the match. So it's like it's not as strong. And
Right, for sure.
I think that the Seth Rollins angle, I think Seth Rollins is probably the strongest character going to this show. I think Roman's been basically absent from TV for months. So he's only shown up a little bit to like matter. And I don't think he's that invested in the match. The one that realistically, if this was done right, this should have been Roman, Seth Rollins.
Fake your tips, Phil. Come on, you know you want one.
Because they're the ones who
This is terrible.
Right? Roman's just kind of there because he's there, because they eliminate each other from the Royal Rumble. Seth and CM Punk actually have a reason to hate each other, and they want to beat each other. But obviously, Roman's the biggest star out of all of them, so they put him in the match.
What was that?
It means something. I don't buy that it's the biggest WrestleMania triple threat ever main event. There's been a lot of.
Did he just puke a little?
Match.
Ew, it sounded like it.
A couple years ago with Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte. There's been plenty of triple threat main events that have been bigger, right? I think the real question is what I think. So here's what I think is going to happen in the match. What's probably going to happen, and if they were smart, what happens is I put Seth Rollins over, and I have Paul Heyman join up with Seth Rollins, and that's the long-term storyline for this. Because I don't think Paul Heyman benefits very much from being with Roman anymore. I don't think he benefits at all from being with CM Punk. I think CM Punk should just be his own guy. He doesn't need a Paul Heyman type to be on his side. I think Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins as the duo coming out, winning this match, and kind of, putting down the other two, kind of elevates Seth Rollins a lot. It gives him a win when he's been the workhorse for the company for a long time. I think he probably deserves to win this match. And storyline-wise, it makes the most sense. I don't see Roman winning. I could see Punk winning and have him win
He can't resist it, bro.
Shower with confetti and everything, and like all the people coming out to help hold him up. I could see that happening, and that might be what actually happens. But there's no reason for Roman to win, and I'm not that excited about this. I don't feel like this is a WrestleMania worthy main event. I think this is a match that can happen on any. This could be a main event of like Bad Blood or any other pay-per-view, but this doesn't feel like a WrestleMania main event. And maybe I'm wrong for saying that. And I guess it's night one, so it's not even the main event. It's just the closing of the first half, right? Technically.
Right.
So
it's the main event of night one.
It's
the end of the first show.
Match. It's just okay.
All right, so my take on it, first off, what a disappointment, because last year, as we know, that first main event that took place, the outcome of that event determined what was going to happen in the main event of the next night. And because it had that impact, both nights were at like crescendo of excitement, right? Like, you were just so excited to see both main events. This one, quite frankly, if you like these guys, great. If you wanted to see them at WrestleMania, they're getting their match, and it's going to be a good match in the ring. They're all going to do their stuff. They're going to do a really good show in there. But no title on the line, no stakes whatsoever. Who cares who wins or loses this? They're all going to just go on to something else anyway. It won't affect any of them.
Bro, he's so fat. His head looks attached to his shoulders. I didn't like this plot line at all. And then the 1 week where they were doing their contract signing, and during the contract signing, Punk says, that wasn't the favor I was owed. And I was like, wait, now this is interesting. Don't tell what the favor is. Have it be the big mystery leading into WrestleMania. Have that be the reason to see the match. And then all of a sudden, the next week, they do the segment again. And he said, the favor is that I want Paul Heyman in my corner. What? That's stupid. That's not even a good favor you're asking for. What is he going to do? Stand there and yell? Big fucking deal. It's like, I want Paul Heyman to somehow campaign for me to get a title match or something. Okay, that makes sense. If you win the match, Paul Heyman gets you a title match. And then maybe the next night at WrestleMania, there's a surprise title match, CM Punk versus the winner of Cody Rhodes and Cena, or maybe he's involved in it in a triple threat. Instead, you literally made it the absolute worst stipulation, and
You spoiled it before WrestleMania. So now why do I care about this match? And I will completely agree with you. If Roman wins, who cares? Doesn't affect him whatsoever. He'll be on to something else. If CM Punk wins, who cares? Is even if right now, if Paul Heyman said, I'm leaving Roman Reigns and I'm going to go with CM Punk permanently, it still doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal. But if Seth wins this, if you really think about the long-term booking here, Seth has lost almost every major match this year. He lost against CM Punk at the inaugural Netflix WrestleMania, or Raw. Sorry about that. He lost again when it mattered. What match was it? Oh, of course, Royal Rumble. He didn't get to do anything there. He keeps losing every major opportunity.
This is fucking stupid.
So this is his opportunity to get over not only on two guys who he really hates, but also if Paul Heyman were to jump ship and join with him, that's a plot because he's been with Roman, he's been with Punk, he hasn't been with Seth. That would be an interesting plot line. But I think that's why everyone on the internet is saying it. And sadly, with WWE, when everyone on the internet seems to be feeling like something's going to happen, they hear that, and then they tend to not do it. So I am nervous that they're hearing this now, and that would have been the best plot, and now because people kind of got wind of what it's going to be, they're just going to do something stupid. And the truth is, I don't care. Like, I really wanted to see if it would have some kind of a impact on this title match with Cody and Cena, and now it doesn't. So since there's no carryover night 1 to night 2, it really deflates from last year where you had that excitement from night 1 to night 2. You don't have that anymore. Personally, I want Seth to win. I think that would be the best outcome. I think they might just have like Roman win or something just for no reason, just because they like Roman so much. But I guess we'll have to see. The truth is, I just don't think it matters. I think that sadly, unless Seth wins, this has become kind of a throwaway match. And this was supposed to be
this is boring.
Big main event, and there's just
give
no
me money. You want to see me open cards, right?
Nothing at all.
I know this is boring and it sucks, but money me now. I need it.
He just gets bragging rights, right? That's not all that it is. It's just 4 bragging rights. There's not really like a grudge match or, not everything has to be. People don't just hate each other, but like, I don't get the vibe that CM Punk really hates Roman Reigns. I don't even get the vibe that he hates freaking Seth Rollins. I get the vibe that Roman Reigns hates Seth Rollins, not CM Punk. There's not bad blood between everyone. The only one that has bad blood is Seth Rollins. So it makes sense for him to win, but even if he doesn't, it's
Gahul, you have officially become a robot. You seriously, you sound like a robot right now. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. You were actually good most of the night. Oh man.
1 second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disconnect and then reconnect. Okay.
Actually, hold on. It just went good.
It went good.
It went good. Hold on. Talk again.
Good. Hello.
Uh-oh. I think we lost him.
But let's disconnect and I'll reconnect.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe that might help.
All right.
1 second.
Hold on. He's gonna disconnect and let's see what happens. Because it was good for a second, then it went bad again. Let's see.
Yeah, it's still bad. I don't know what's going on. My internet's fine.
Oh man. Yeah, my internet's fine too. I'm not sure. Well, we'll push through. We got a few more matches to cover from the night 2. I guess we'll just push through and see what happens. What can we do? We'll make the best of it here. Sorry everyone for the robotic sounding finale.
It seems like it's better. It seems to. Oh no, never mind. I've talked again.
It's good. It's half and half. Like it's your first half of your sentence is good, and then you go robotic. So let's see how we do it. All right, let's get to night 2, everyone. So night 2 of WrestleMania. Again, this isn't necessarily the order the matches are going to be. This is how they kind of listed them online. First match: Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending the women's tag championships against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And this one, in my opinion, is actually gonna, I think, would be an interesting match, but it's just so weird how it came together, because to me, I feel like Lyra Valkyria should be defending the women's intercontinental title. I don't know why she's not. Like, something happened there. Like, maybe they had a plan and it fell through. So instead, they put together this really hashtag mishmashed match. But I think, like I said, wrestling-wise, I do feel like the match will be entertaining and fun. but the fact that there's been no buildup. It was within 2 weeks that Bailey and Lyra decided to team up. They've had like one match to qualify for this, and now they're having the tag match at WrestleMania. It doesn't really get you too excited for it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we'll see. What is your take on this insanely quickly put together match, Cahool?
Let me see if I can get through this without cutting out. I think I'm okay. It seems to be okay right now. So if I get robotic, just cut me off, and I apologize. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
Just Discord being Discord, obviously. Piece of shit software.
I didn't know Berserk was going to
obviously
be
Lyra's
put
supposed to
into
be Becky,
Diablo.
and Becky's not coming back right now.
Right.
That's pretty
So
cool.
Right.
That's the answer. I think that this should have been Bailey and maybe like one of the one of the Damage Control ladies from back then. They reunite with her with what's her face, Dakota Kai maybe, or like Asuka or Kyrie, get her or someone, or maybe Roxanne Perez. Have Bailey team with someone from there, and then I think probably Bailey and Roxanne teaming do this title match, and then Becky's on the show. Lyra doesn't really have another challenger. So we put her in this match, and maybe Lyra. I mean, I don't see them winning. Like, Liv and Raquel are going to win, so it doesn't really matter who they have faced. And I guess it's just one less match on the show. And frankly, while I appreciate that, while you want, all the titles to be represented at WrestleMania, realistically, as a fan, the less matches that are on this show, the better. Because these are long shows. They go super long. The matches are usually given a lot of time. So even if this, we cut that women's intercontinental match, we still have the champion on the show wrestling in a different match. You're not depriving her of her spot. I don't know. It's a hasty build to titles that don't mean jack shit. They should get rid of the women's tag titles. They don't mean anything. They don't have dedicated women tag teams for the most part. They barely have dedicated men's tag teams. I just don't think that and frankly, it's hard enough because they kind of bounce back and forth between NXT and the main roster, the tag titles. They really don't do much with them. They don't mean anything until, what they use them for is when one of their single stars loses their main title, they give them the tag titles to keep them in the mix. Like, they're still a champion, right? Like, with Liv. Right. This whole reason that Liv has the tag titles is not because she's a great tag team wrestler. It's because they want to keep her in the storylines because she's a main part of the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley and Dom Mysterio. She's a main part of that storyline, right? And so she's going to be a featured character. She better be a champion, So that's why it's there. Liv and Raquel are going to win, and it's going to further. I don't know. We'll get this to when we get to the Braun Breaker and Finn and that match. What's going to happen there, because I imagine the Judgment Day implosion is imminent, and I think this is going to be part of the story.
Okay. I agree. I think that number one, Liv and Raquel are only the tag titles because they want Judgment Day to be prominent, and they really have floundered in the last several months. There hasn't been much going on with them. They keep teasing this breakup, and then they just give up on it, and then it's back, and then they give up on it again. So by giving them the tag titles, it gave them something to do now. It gives them a match for WrestleMania. Bailey, as I've said, since I've seen her wrestle, since she returned, and started wrestling in the last few months, has done nothing. She literally hasn't done anything of note. She didn't really beat anyone of note. She just kind of floundered. She's lost a bunch of times, to people. And so they needed to give something, right? They needed to do something here. And I feel like this was a way to get all four women at a match at WrestleMania that kind of is meaningless. You're right. I think Lyra was supposed to wrestle either Bailey or someone else. And it just never came to fruition. It's sad because I hate when you have a title that is meaningless, and I feel like right now that IC title is meaningless because it's not being wrestled for. The defense.
Oh my god, all of this is meaningless, bro. Phil, this is incredibly boring, bro.
Match, maybe to curtain jerk for a night two, but I don't think it's going to be anything of massive note either. I don't think anyone's going to freak out at it. At least it gives these women something to do.
I wouldn't curtain jerk this match because you want an exciting match to curtain jerk. No offense, but this should be like in a death spot. This should be like in between two bigger matches, because it should go on before the IC match later on, the men's IC match later on that night. But I wouldn't lead with this because you want to lead with something exciting. You want to lead with some kind of high flying move, something big. I would maybe do the the SmackDown men's tag match to lead or something, but I don't. I really, if that thing in the match is happening on the show, I'm assuming it is the DIY versus. Street Profits.
No,
it's I know, dude. 150 viewers.
It was not listed as part of the main.
This is boring as
I was
fuck,
shocked,
dude.
That's right. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on SmackDown. I heard that it's gonna be on SmackDown tomorrow.
It got like it got like demoted, right? It was gonna be, and then they like kicked it back to be like a build up.
Can't even make the pre-show, man.
Yeah, pretty bad.
That's what you do with the tag division, man. But I would do another match that's a little bit more exciting to start the show off. You don't want something exciting and like that one to like pop the crowd. I don't see the women's tag match as being that exciting. No,
I agree with you. It's just a kind of a throwaway match to have them on the card, I feel. So,
yeah,
so by the way, while we were talking about that match, 25 subs just got dumped on Kick from OP360 Tom. Thank you so much, OP360 Tom. In addition to that, Hard Nose
thank you.
Also gifted a sub. So that's another one. And then I just got a tip I want to shout out as well. This means we did hit our goal. This means we will be opening a pack of cards. We'll do that at the end of the show. That way we can get through this.
Shit.
Like 3 or 4 more matches.
Fake.
Slayer did a $2 tip. He says, fun fact, last year WrestleMania ended the longest reign in forever, excuse me, the longest reigning titles. The Intercontinental title, the World Heavyweight title, and the WWE Champion all lost at last year's WrestleMania. As for the tag team gauntlets, they did the same push for the first tag team lasting until the end this week in NXT for Hank and Tank. See, I don't watch NXT, so I don't know anything about that. I don't even know who the hell Hank and Tank are. Also, the winner of the Fatal 4-Way tag match at NXT Stand and Deliver will challenge
dumb.
the WWE Women's Tag
Bro,
next
just
week
move the
on
fuck
NXT.
on.
So, there's going to be a
OP360 Tom, someone that's never talked in his chat, never said anything to anybody.
That's really
just magically gives him what, $200 or $125?
Women's tag team champions. But a couple years ago, they unified the titles, right? So they are now just one championship that goes back and forth, and sometimes they're on NXT, sometimes they're on the main roster. So sometimes the women's tag team champions will just not be on main TV for a month at a time because they're held by someone in NXT. And that's why these titles are like worthless. They mean nothing because they don't even like appear on. You don't even know where to watch for them.
Wow.
You know, it's like it's a real disaster. They need to get rid of them, I think, but you can't. I mean, they need to do something. Maybe it might be better if they split them again. I think at this point, I mean, it would be better.
Look at his reactions now. Look at his reactions now. Before he was giving at least some kind of answer. Now it's yeah, wow, 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 wow. Every single time. He just wants to leave now. He's like, I got my money. This conversation can be done. We can go.
If the NXT women and the Raw, there shouldn't be a championship that's shared between all 3 brands. That's just ridiculous.
That is confusing and ridiculous. I don't think that's a good idea at all. I had no clue about that. No matter.
He does not give a shit. I don't even know about
half the time when they're talking about stuff on NXT. It's like it affects like you'll have a Raw star on NXT. Like what? Why? I guess they've been doing this for a while. Okay. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I mean, this in my opinion, in a nutshell, this match, I want to see the match. I want to see AJ Styles and Logan Paul wrestle, and here's why. It's purely scientific for me because I haven't really seen Logan Paul do that much. I've seen him in a couple of matches. I thought he was decent, but everyone keeps telling me Logan Paul is like the ultimate case of someone who's not a wrestler but crosses over and has become a good wrestler. But I haven't seen it. I've only been watching since January. I saw him in the Rumble. I thought he was decent. I saw like 1 or 2 matches. I thought he was decent. I want to see him actually go up against someone like AJ Styles, because if they are actually both really good, I know AJ Styles is good. I think this could be like a barn burner of a match to see these guys go at it. The plot between these two is, like, in my opinion, non-existent. It was slapped together. The storyline is just stupid. I can't even get through the segments where they.
Oh my God! It is. It's time for night, bro. This is boring.
The physicality and the technical aspect of it. I could give 2 shits about the storyline because, let's be honest, it doesn't matter anyway. It's not going to continue after WrestleMania. Yeah. So, what do you think?
This is fucking boring.
Actually, this would be a great opener match. It's exciting. Okay. It's going to be high flying. It's going to be a lot of. It's someone the crowd really hates and someone the crowd really loves. I mean, I've seen a lot of Logan Paul. I've seen most of his matches in WWE. I haven't been super on WWE the last couple years I've gone in and out with it.
Okay.
But I would say Logan's very good in the ring. I think people give him a lot more credit than he deserves. He's very good at getting heel heat. You can't deny that. He's great.
Yes,
He needs
absolutely.
too much heel heat. Maybe it's the wrong kind of heel heat. But I don't buy that he's the best non-wrestler. That's still Kurt Angle. I don't see. You can't make.
No.
Obviously, he's the best
No. No.
So quick.
No, Kurt Angle was an Olympic level wrestler who transitioned into wrestling. He already knew how to wrestle.
He seems pretty safe too.
The only part he had to learn was the professional part.
Picking who wins this
What the fuck are you talking about, you dummy?
I think AJ's probably on his way out of WWE. Personally, I think he's either retiring or maybe gonna do one.
Logan Paul is entirely different. Logan Paul is not comparable to Kurt Angle. Logan Paul is comparable to The Miz.
He's getting up in age. He's still in great shape. But you might as well retire while you still have some physicality and mobility. He's made enough money to last him a lifetime.
Good lord.
So I see this as being one of his last WrestleMania. This might be his last WrestleMania match as far as I know. He might be out soon. So I have Logan go over and have this way to end the AJ Styles career, end the AJ Styles story in WWE. They'll probably
apparently
the carrying cross because he's been on the TV with them a lot. I don't want that. I just want this to be a straight match. I think it'd be better as just a straight match with no storyline bullshit. I think people would probably enjoy it more if we just
shut up, Chinster number 2.
I see this the way Logan will win. Probably Jake Paul will be there because they're in Vegas. I imagine he'll get involved.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I totally that slipped my mind that he might be there.
Yeah,
holy shit. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Jake Paul will probably show up, or one of the other. Every time Logan wrestles, one of his some internet celeb, some big it's either like KSI or I Show Speed or something shows up for the match too. Maybe you'll get Mr. Beast or something. I don't fucking know. Some random guy's gonna do a wrestling move with them, and it'll be probably pretty funny. And it'll be a good way to start off the show. It'd be fun, but I definitely see Logan winning. I agree with you. The story.
Oh, go ahead.
The storyline build has been terrible. I don't think the storyline for this has been good at all. The segments on TV have been horrible, but the match is probably gonna be pretty good. I think.
I hope the match is good because if I finally see what everyone's been telling me about Logan Paul, I'd be happy to see it rather than be just kind of like I'm waiting.
But you can't because you're biased towards him.
Paul is a good wrestler
because he's vastly more successful in every area you've wanted to be successful in.
Needs to build.
You're jealous of that guy.
I remember when AJ first came into WWE and it was a hot shit, and he was the house that AJ built, SmackDown and stuff like
which
that.
Never made sense.
But now, let's be honest, what has he really been doing? Not much. So this gives him something to do at WrestleMania. Maybe this is the end. Maybe this is his farewell tour. He's just not publicizing it like John Cena is. And if that's the case, great. He's
how many farewell tours does John Cena have to fucking do,
I agree with you. I think Logan will win. Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 7 more guys in this match by WrestleMania, but probably not. It's probably just going to be the 4 for the Intercontinental title. This is like the culmination of like 7 plot lines at this point. All right, it's the culmination of Penta debuted in January, and finally he's getting a big match. This is the culmination of Braun, kind of the I'll stand against anyone kind of tough dog mentality defending the title. This is the culmination of the falling out of the Judgment Day plot line where Dom and Finn have been at each other's throats. Dom wants to keep adding new members to Judgment Day ever since one of them got injured in January, and Finn says, no, no, no. And then they win a match, they lose a match, they lose a match, they win a match, they're at your back. Oh, they're friendly, now they're not anymore. It's very complicated. It's very convoluted. Honestly, for me, I think the match will be good, but
she's out with Tyrone right now. That's why Phil won't leave.
Others might get involved, and it might be a real kind of all kinds of crap going on at once. But ultimately, I think it will be a fun match. And at the end of the day, I would like to see Penta win the match. I don't think he will, but that's what I desire. I desire that Penta came into this company with a bunch of backing. He kind of floundered for a couple of months there, facing these guys, these mid-carders. They finally got him out of all that. They got him into a title picture. He's had some good matches now in this title picture. I would like to see him come out the winner. But I'm worried WWE will do their usual bullshit where they gave him this good push, and now it's just going to be all for naught, and then he's back to the drawing board wrestling mid-carders again for 2-3 more months. So I'm not sure. I think it's been kind of a random shuffle to get this match together for WrestleMania, the way that they did it last minute, you know, all of a sudden. But I'm okay with it as long as the match is good, and I hope that Penta wins. Who do you think will win? How do you think it'll go?
I'm with you. I think Penta winning makes probably the most sense.
Oh my God,
Realistically,
bro.
probably going to be... I think it might be Dom, actually.
Oh.
I think Dom wins. Maybe even pinning Finn, actually. Storyline, it makes the most sense, right? I mean, like, if you think about what would have the best...
None of this shit makes sense.
That makes the most sense.
I like Dom
Regardless,
as a heel. I like Dom as getting the heel heat. I don't like Dom as a champion. I think he's the great heel that will go out there and always get people against him so he can control plot lines. He can be the focus. I don't buy him being Intercontinental Champion right now. Maybe a year or two later, he gets a little better in the ring. Right now, I just don't believe it.
Oh
you know,
my
I just don't. I don't
God.
think he should win it this early.
He's been in the company for a long time. He's been wrestling for the company for a long time. I don't think an extra year is going to help him. I think if you pull the trigger, you might as well pull it now. I don't see. But I think we can probably agree, regardless, Braun's losing the title, right? Braun's dropping the title, but he's not taking the pin.
I
clearly.
think so.
He's not going to be... It's either going to be Finn or Dom that takes the pin, I think. I can see Penta winning. I think it makes sense to have Penta win and have the Judgment Day break off be like its own separate plot line away from the Intercontinental title. But Braun Breaker absolutely needs to lose his title and then not get pinned and then immediately go into a world title picture. I think he is clearly the most impressive physically, you know, on promos, everything. He, to me, is future build around this guy. He's future Brock Lesnar material. I think he's already there. Like, everything he does is insanely amazing. He knows how to cut a great promo. He's got great wrestling history. You know, he's got the look. He manages to make those goofy-looking wrestling singlets look intimidating, which is really hard to do. It's hard to do. Wear one of those and still look like a monster. But
how do you know it's hard to do?
Monster. His spears are amazing. I think you have to push this guy. Either have him face Jay or Gunther. Hopefully Gunther. I mean, Gunther versus Braun promo going to SummerSlam. Can you imagine? That would be so much fun. Or you have him face Cody or Cena. You know, if Cody wins, I see Braun Breaker versus Cody. Great program. You know, that'd be awesome too. But
I think that no matter what happens, the good news about WrestleMania is a lot of these ongoing plot lines are finally going to end and we get to hit the reset button. Like, I just want to see Gunther out of that plot line with Jay and doing something refreshing. I want to see Braun move on to something rather than I just hold this title and I randomly have matches that don't mean anything. I want to see good stuff for the guys who are either up and coming or great wrestlers, and it's kind of been stagnant for a few months. So now we'll actually be able to do that. So I'm happy. And you're right. I actually think Braun dropping the title, but moving on to something better is better for him than if he gets the title retention at WrestleMania. So let's see what happens. Someone else definitely could use the title more than him, especially Penta.
Excellent. Yeah, I think Penta would be great Intercontinental Champion, but you know, you put the rocket to this guy. You can't not. He's literally built perfect to be a main eventer. And barring injury, I don't see a reason why you put any kind of brakes on this guy. Full steam ahead.
Agree. This match, I don't know. This just seems, to be honest to me, this is like my time waster of night 2. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, which is sad to say because I don't even think either of them are bad wrestlers or bad promo guys. They both have done great things in this company. I just don't think that this is it for them. I think this has been a really shitty year so far for both of them. They really haven't done much of anything. Drew getting beaten by every single person in a row. You know, Damian barely having any matches that mattered. And when he wins, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't get him anything. So I just think this is kind of a shitty plot line of Drew is angry, sour grapes that Damian Priest cost him a couple matches over the last few years. And all of a sudden, he's the focus of his ire because no one else will wrestle him. You know what I mean? He lost to Seth. He loses to CM Punk. He loses to everyone. Who didn't I lose to yet? Oh, let's get Damian Priest here. Like, to beat him up at WrestleMania. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I feel like this is going to be a lot of people's
I have no idea, God of fuck, but he looks really retarded no matter what he does.
That's sad because, again, I don't think those guys deserve that.
It's amazing.
Quite frankly.
They were great this year. Right, within the last year, not like since 2025, but within like last year's WrestleMania.
Sure.
Drew was in the hottest feud of. I mean, I hated the SummerSlam match with him and Punk. I thought it was atrocious, but they paid it off with bad blood. He was in the hottest feud in the company with CM Punk, right? And Damian Priest was world champion coming out of WrestleMania. Like, these were major characters in the company that, since Royal Rumble, have basically been put to the sidelines, and they just don't matter. Which it's let them down. And frankly, there's been enough time on TV where you can maybe, instead of running the 10th recap package of the night, you could do a good, Damian Priest match, or a good Drew McIntyre TV match, or a good promo battle for them that actually matters. And that's why I would say that the booking, the build and the booking for this WrestleMania has been bad, because this on paper should be a great match, but they haven't built it the way they should. But probably when you go watch this match, it's probably gonna be a great in-ring match. It'll probably be really fun. The crowd's probably gonna gonna be great, probably physically. So it probably is gonna it's really underhyped. It's probably gonna over-deliver when you get in the ring, because they're two great in-ring wrestlers, two big guys, and a fun Haas match. If you take all the storyline away from it and just look at it as a match on paper, it seems like a great match. Right. But you're right. The story is not there, and the story is the number one thing for most people. But for the people alive and in attendance, they're probably gonna have a great time. I feel jealous for his friend, that one friend whoever.
Yeah, second row. Second row is he'll have a blast.
Slayer's friend is gonna have a great time. He's gonna have a ton of fun.
All right, so we already talked about the main event of night 2, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena up front. So the only other match left to talk about is the triple threat women's world championship. Horrible. Io Sky defending against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley.
Her name is Rhea.
Here's my thing about this build-up. I liked it when it started, when Io.
And honestly, Rhea Ripley is the only reason to watch wrestling at the moment.
Rhea,
if I can be honest, her name is Rhea Ripley. You fucking loser.
Rhea and Bianca. If that is how it started, and then it advanced, and weeks later, Io is taken seriously now because she's shown her prowess and she's kicked their butts and stuff, I would have liked this plot. Instead, here we are like 2 months later, and it's still, she's not taken seriously. Every week, it's still Rhea and Bianca. It's like, well, now I don't take her seriously, because we weren't able to take her seriously for like 2 months of the build-up to WrestleMania. The truth is, I would like Io to retain and then actually get a real title reign, because she hasn't had one. She had the title and just was in the backdrop while these two were in the forefront. So hopefully, eventually, WWE will take her seriously and she'll get a real title run. But like you said previous, I don't think that's what WWE wants. I feel like she was the placeholder so that these two could get their rivalry going. And I think that it's probably going to be Bianca who wins. Maybe they will give it back to Rhea. I don't know. But I think the least likely thing would be that Io would win, but I want her to win. So realistically, I think you're right. I think Bianca's going to win, and then you're probably going to end up with a plot line of either like Naomi or Jade versus Bianca for a bit for the title, because I don't know what else they would do. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Bianca wins and then it's Rhea versus Io for a bit. I don't know, but I think Io's going to drop it.
This is fucking you're right about boring, dude. I'm so sorry, guys.
You had a pretty long title run with the other.
I don't even know what to say or what comments to make.
Title run, it was fine. She was a heel back then, so it was a little bit different than if she was a face. She hasn't had a proper face run, right? But I mean, I think
all I know is the woman they're talking about, Rhea Ripley.
Right. I think it would be better if she just been waited and like gotten to be the main focus.
She's like all over social media. Apparently, everybody thinks she's super attractive or some shit.
Didn't just build this as, because to me, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair are the two biggest women's stars they have, and they haven't done just Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. They haven't done that yet, at least to my knowledge. But as far as I recall, they haven't done that. And I'm sorry if I'm roboting.
Yeah, it's roboting pretty bad.
Sorry, man. It's I don't know what's going on. But I think it would have been better if they, because originally it was just when Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber, it was Rhea versus Bianca, and then they had Io win the match like the next Monday. I would have just had it be Rhea versus Bianca, and then have Io win like SummerSlam and have her just be the sole focus going into like a different match, right? Or have Io face Tiffany Stratton and win the title off of her, and have it go and have that title.
Yeah, right.
I would have done that. I think her being shoehorned into this match, I mean, she's definitely the best in-ring wrestler of the three.
Right.
And her being in the match will make the match in-ring better, I think. But Blockbuster, like, I'm booking, like, the two top women's wrestlers, single stars. It's like, why not just have them face each other in a singles match? It's a bigger match to me. It feels like a bigger WrestleMania match. It could have main evented night one even, I think.
Yeah.
It's that big of a, because they haven't done it yet. It's the first time ever in a WrestleMania, at least. Bianca versus Rhea Ripley, the two biggest stars they built up in the last 5 years. Do that match, but instead they've got as a triple threat. I think it means less. I think I'm still saying by Bianca's got to win and feud with Naomi or Jade. And I don't know what you do with Rhea, and I don't know what you do with Io after this. And I think that's a bit of a shame. I think it's not the best storytelling, frankly. I think it's actually one of the worst booked matches on the whole show.
I
frankly.
agree.
I think it's one of the
unlike
cohesive.
Unlike the IC title match where when Braun drops that title, he can move on to something great. If Penta wins the title, he's got something interesting to do. If either Finn or Dom cost themselves the title, they've got advancement in their plot line. In this plot, you've got two people who are asked out. You really do. When Bianca wins, Io's got nothing to do. Rhea's got nothing to do. You hit that reset, but where are they going? This is what we were talking about, the problem with the women's division. They don't really have anything set up. That here's the next person in line. Here's the next believable person. That's a big problem. So you don't want to see the same matches over and over. You don't want to see Io and Rhea again. But what are they going to do? I don't know. I'm with you on this, but I'm feeling like Bianca's going to win. So overall now, we've covered every match. What is your feeling overall about WrestleMania 41? Do you think it's going to be good, or do you think it's going to be a disappointment?
If we go purely by the booking, it seems like it's going to be a bad show on paper, right? I think it's going to be it seems like a bad WrestleMania. It seems like the main event of night one doesn't feel like a real main event. The main event of night two hasn't been built to the level it should be. And you could say with the ticket prices, they technically have sold less tickets than they did last year, so the crowds are going to be a little bit down. But when you're gonna watch the show this weekend, and it's probably going to be awesome. Right, it's gonna be like the pomp and circumstance, the presentation, the big arena, the big musical entrances. It's pretty hard. I think they're probably gonna deliver when it actually comes time to actually get in the ring and resolve the storylines and move forward. I think they're probably gonna deliver. I could be wrong. It could go down bad. I think night one has a chance of actually being a bad show. I don't think night two will be bad.
Well, that was inevitable.
Just the Cody Cena match alone will fuel night two, even if the whole night sucks ass. Yeah. Cody Cena being the main event, the end of the show, likely is going to be the reason why night two is good. You're right. Night one, I feel like night one has potential to have some good things. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, I will say this. There's no way this will be as good as last year's WrestleMania. There's just no way at all that I can see that happening. There is some potential for some wacky, wild stuff to happen. What if Rock shows up, right? What if some zany stuff happens? But for the most part, I think it'll still be fun. I do. I'm a little sad, I'll be honest, because I feel like maybe I should have got back into wrestling last year because I feel like I missed out on the biggest thing that happened in wrestling, and I decided to get into it back. This is my first WrestleMania that I've seen in like 5-6 years.
No, it isn't. No, it the fuck isn't. No, it isn't.
At the Performance Center, which was awful,
rough.
You know,
that was rough.
And since then, I haven't watched it. So this being the first WrestleMania in so many years, I think it'll be exciting to watch, especially it's in Vegas. I'm sure the set's going to be insane. The crowd's going to be hot. But yeah,
we're going to be hot.
It's entertaining. I think overall,
we're all the hot young dudes.
Yes, the match, my most anticipated match by far is Cody versus Cena. I want to see how it's going to go. I want to see what they're going to do with it. I'm excited for that. So overall, even if the rest of WrestleMania sucks, if that final match goes well, I think that they're still going to go down and say it was a good show. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, the main event really makes the whole show, I think. But remember, historically, WrestleManias with bad builds, great show. WrestleManias with good builds, not so great show.
I guess we'll see.
I think we'll see what happens, but I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun.
This show was
all right, so guys,
fucking
that concludes
ass.
The wrestling portion of the show. Just to be clear, I am doing Smart Guys this coming week. It's very different. I'm doing Smart Guys this coming Monday, April 21st, as a daytime stream at 12 noon Pacific time, broadcast here on DSP Reacts on YouTube, but also on my Kick channel, DSP Gaming Reel. It's a 4-hour WrestleMania recap super show. I'm going to be going through match by match what happened, my thoughts. I'm also going to have guests on. For example, you might have already heard Ethan Ralph has reconfirmed he will be on the show for about 30 to 45 minutes to give his thoughts. I'm currently
Ethan
talking to
Ralph
Cypress
is a
TV
pet,
about having
is a
him have appearance,
rapist,
and I've also
like
talked
a
with,
confirmed
Rahul about figuring out
rapist.
how to do. I don't
Why
know
are
if
you
we can
working
provide
with
We'll
that
see.
person?
But it's going to be exciting after it's happened to have everyone on the show at one point talking about their takes and me also having mine. So that's a big super show. After that, I'm not doing another Smart Guys for at least another week. In fact, what I want to do is kind of see how the show does and judge, should I continue after WrestleMania doing Smart Guys weekly? Is it something I should stop doing weekly? Maybe do it monthly, maybe do it every 2 weeks. We'll see. We'll talk about it. But before we get to opening this pack of cards, I want to say, Gahul, thank you for appearing tonight. You were a great
Yeah,
guest. The only
thanks,
bad
tipster.
part was the mic going robotic.
He's white
That was
tipster,
about
bro.
it. But as a guest, you were good. You were a great
No, he
co-host.
wasn't.
A little
He
bit of
was
drama at the beginning
dumb.
was fun. I enjoyed having you as a guest. Did you have a good time?
I had a really fun time, and I'm sure some people in the chat were pissed. I went all over the drama, and they'll say what they will about me, whatever they want to say. I will just say,
But you worked with him.
A once in a lifetime experience. Frankly, Phil, I don't want to glaze you or whatever, but man, this is like going on a show with like Nostalgia Critic or something for me. It's like you're one of my early internet, idols. Like you've been a guy I've been following like your whole career, frankly.
Wow,
this has been great.
Bullshit.
It's been fun, and I know we had a little bit of drama.
Another
I know
dent.
like it's a bit too much, but I had fun, and I'd love to come on again. I had a great time. I'm not sure if the chat liked me or not. If they didn't like me, I understand.
They clearly
you're
didn't.
You're always going to have the peanut gallery, and the peanut gallery will always complain because, as I'd like to say, we have a bunch of LARPers in my chat who pretend like they're viewers and fans, but they're just here to crap on everything that I do. It wouldn't have mattered who my guest was tonight. They would have crapped on the guest anyway. It's all good. In my opinion, you did a good job. That's what matters.
No.
And I'm sure we're going to have people after the fact who appreciate the wrestling commentary.
Nope.
Which is really the meat of
That
the
was
show, the meat and
dumb.
potatoes, as they
You
say.
people are
frankly, even the
stupid.
people who hated me, the losers and haters, I
Bro,
love you too, guys.
your
It's always
whole
fun.
argument
It's
was
fun coming
the
on to
women
shows.
aren't athletic
That's what it's all
enough
about.
and they
Fun,
should be
having
more
some fun,
athletic and
enjoying
better
it.
at their
So,
job
thank
while
you,
you
by the
sit
way,
there a
before we close out. I love the
400-pound
whole chat.
fucking
Like,
human
everyone
thumb.
came out and watched tonight. It's been amazing, and I haven't had the
Like,
actual
shut the
window of
fuck
something
up.
people have been saying, but
It's
you know,
all good.
I'm
It's
sure
all
people have
good
been
because
in
the chat gets crazy anyway, and I try to moderate. We have moderators trying to help, but in general, it's better for us to just focus. And we got through the show.
It's better for us not to pay attention to these stupid retards in the chat unless they give us money.
Here. Let's do it. Let's switch over the camera and see what we got. So this is 7 packs, all right, in this box. And we're going to see, can we get the rare pull tonight? I don't think we will.
The women
Seems
are
like it's always
good
the
and
last
they
pack
look
that I select
nice.
ends up having the rare card in it. We'll just go for this one right here. These are my favorite cards, not necessarily the rarest cards that I've gotten out of these boxes, but my favorite cards, including the Nakamura Chase card that's numbered, the I think it's Holochrome Hogan, and honestly just a regular Austin card because I like Austin, so I think it's a better card than some of the other cards that I got that were more rare. All right, so here we go.
Steve
4
Austin would
cards
call
in
you
this
a
pack.
pathetic loser.
Let's see what we got.
Let's get a drum roll going.
Here we go. So up first, it's NXT. And I'm going to actually go to auto adjust camera so that we can actually see these cards. Hold on 1 second while I go to manual focus because it's going to be blurry, but once I get close, we'll actually be able to read it. So the first card, NXT Superstar, is who? Is that Nikita Lyons?
Nikita Lyons. Wow.
Yep.
So we got Nikita
Look at
Lyons.
the size of her.
And
You
yeah,
are
I haven't
a
seen her.
pervert.
I only saw her when she debuted.
You take
on
all the
NXT
fun
many
out of
years
it
ago.
and make
So I don't know what she's looking like today or how she's performing today. I'm honestly shocked she's still on NXT.
like, homeboy, you are fat as shit. You look like 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with a little fucking dash of whipped topping on top. Shut the fuck up. You seriously, you make everything, just everything that much worse. Everything. Shut the fuck up, bro. Ooh, look at the size of her. Yeah, look at the size of you. You're the size of 5 people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's interested in you, buddy. Like, get the hell out of here, man. Probably.
And hasn't been promoted to the main shows by this point. She's been there a few years, right? Did she get hurt or something?
She's got like the worst knees in the business. If she's wearing like double knee braces and she's like, she's in her 20s.
Oh wow!
I don't think she's long for the business. She's totally fucked physically. Like she cannot. She's like got worse knees than like Austin did, right? And that was late in his career. And she's she's still in NXT, right? So it's like, yeah.
Well, that sucks for her. By the way, more
poor
contributions
girl.
to come in. We'll shut those out in a second because there may be a second pack of cards now. We'll see. But in the meantime,
No.
we got, what is this? Another NXT. This, is this the rare one?
Oh,
Let's
we get the
see.
case.
It's a chrome, but I don't think it's numbered. Hold on. Before I look at it, I'm pretty sure it's not numbered, but it has the really cool effect on it that I liked that was on the Nakamura card that was numbered. Let me look. It is Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Who in the fuck is Channing Stacks Lorenzo? Who is that? I don't know. Stacks? Who is that?
So there's like a mafia group gimmick at NXT. It's like an Italian mafia, and he's Stacks. He's like one of the mob henchmen.
Oh my god. Well, I'll say this: the card looks nice because not only does it have the chrome effect, but it's got that broken like glass effect at the top. I really like that. Like I said, the Nakamura chase had it, but it's not a chase. It's not numbered. So I guess it's just a standard holochrome, but it's a better looking standard holochrome. All right.
I mean, no offense, but thank God you didn't get the chase card of freaking Stacks.
Stacks is the rare chase card. That would be something.
This is
I don't
just
even know what the hell
gay
this
as
is.
shit, bro.
KBKWR? It's Asuka and Kairi Sane? But what does KBKWR even mean?
I think it's their new tag team name. It's the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, seriously? Kabuki, that's what it means? So, yeah, Asuka and Kairi Sane each built their reputation as fierce competitors in their native Japan. After coming to WWE, they joined forces as the Kabuki Warriors. Okay. So, I guess they're not in that tag team anymore, which is why I was so confused. But all right. All right, and our last card here, in this pack anyway, we got Johnny Gargano of SmackDown. Pretty nice card, I would say. That's a pretty good representation of Johnny Gargano there, but it's a standard card, not a chase card. Very nice there. Nice. So there's our 4 with Stacks being the guaranteed holochrome of that set. Now, in the meantime, more contributions came in. It looks like I got a $5 tip here from Alex from Phoenix. He says, in my opinion, the mid-card stories for Mania 39 were the best that I had seen in years. Mania 40's card, toned it down a notch. But this year, the mid-card builds are severely lacking. Triple H better not get too relaxed because WrestleMania should be having the best stories possible. There you go. Thank you, Alex.
This is just the gayest shit. It's fucking wrestling, you stupid retards.
It should have the best story possible. Then you go write a fucking wrestling story, you stupid troglodyte.
Across the board, it's also one of the best stages you ever had in wrestling history. Like, that was a great show. 39 and 40 back to back was kind of crazy. That's why I think 41 will still be pretty good because we've been on a pretty good streak of good WrestleMania. So,
okay, yeah. So, FYI, you are robotic again, but I'm sure it'll clear up anyway. So in the meantime,
this guy is fat as
Lance
shit.
Catamaran gifted
It's
1,
Lance
2, 3, 4, 5,
Catamaran.
6, 7, 8. Is it 8? He gifted 8 subs on Kick. So 8 subs is the equivalent of $40 of support. And so because of that, we've actually topped $200. We got to 205, which means we're opening one more pack tonight before we adjourn. So
no.
We get a double partaking of the cards.
No.
Lance Catamaran.
What kind of math is that?
All right, let's do another one. Very nice. Let's just pick a random pack here and get back to the camera. Here we go. All right, second pack.
Look at him faking these things.
Top chrome cards here. 2025.
Look at him. He's like, I gotta get this done so I can get the fuck out of here. I need a look at him. Look at him. With his fucking weaselly wily fingers.
Welcome back to Full
Echo.
Sounds.
Echo.
Sound.
Echo.
This card is
Stop.
SmackDown. Who do we got? We got
fucking
Carmelo Hayes. Currently tagging up with The Miz. What an amazing team.
Big ups, Mental Patience. How are you, man?
I forgot. He had a name for them last week.
It's Mellow Don't Miz, I think.
Mellow Don't Miz. What a great name. Very nice. Carmelo Hayes there from NXT. Pretty much doing nothing on SmackDown right now. All right. We got another SmackDown superstar. And it appears this is a standard holochrome. And it's a nice one. It is the Viper, Randy Orton, who currently has nothing to do at WrestleMania at all, which really sucks because he's going to have a good match with KO and
we didn't,
you know.
we didn't talk about that. Apparently, from what I understand, he's supposed to still have a match, but it's supposed to be like a mystery open challenge. That's supposed to maybe get announced on Friday. So he didn't even announce who we think that might be. I'm leaning towards Aleister Black returning. People talk about Nick Aldis, but I could see it being Nia. It's a good thing we pulled that card. I would have totally forgot about that match. But
I didn't even know.
He's still
That's
gonna have a match
cool.
at WrestleMania.
Let's see who should he wrestle. He should wrestle.
A paper
Eugene
bag.
should return. Eugene should return from
Well,
retirement.
they're not. They didn't put out a.
Yeah.
That would be the best.
They
match
didn't put out a
possible.
call to you there, Phil. So
All right.
Eugene
A good
definitely
card
is not coming
in
back.
this pack. Who the hell is this? Who is this?
Who the hell is this
Hold on,
guy?
I need my glasses. I think this might be one half of the War Raiders, but I can't really read it. It is. It's Eric. It's Eric of the War Raiders. There he is. It's one of the special ones where it's called, I don't know what it's called, like Alan and Gunter or something. And also it is one of the holograms. It's not a holochrome effect, but it's hologram. So wait a minute. I got 2 in 1 pack. That's rare, actually.
No,
to
it
get
isn't.
2 in 1 pack with that effect. So I actually I made out there with Orton and Eric.
Oh God, he's
in
so
1 pack with
fucking
that
dumb.
effect. So of course that
He's
means the next one
so
will be an autograph,
fucking
right? No,
dumb.
son of a bitch. It's not an autograph. It is. Oh, we already have her, don't we? I think this might be a dupe.
We got a dupe.
I'm pretty sure this is a dupe. Jasmine Nix. I have no clue who that is. Probably NXT superstar. Jasmine Nix.
NXT, yeah.
Never heard of her. All right. So there we go. There's our.
I know a lot about wrestling, and even
you don't
I
know who
know
she
what
is.
that is.
I swear, these cards. This is why these cards have worked, because they're such a trip. Because you don't know who half the people are. Like, who? What? I've been watching wrestling for 5 months, 4 months straight. I don't know who these people are. Are they even on TV anymore? You know, who knows who they are. But that was pretty cool. I got 3 of the holograms rather than just 2. So I actually got a bonus one. You're only guaranteed to get 1 in a pack. That's
No,
nice.
you're
And that
not.
leaves us with 5 packs left. You know, running as far as we can. I don't know if we'll open any on Monday's WrestleMania Super Show or not. We'll have to see. But that's
What
cool.
is
I'm not
WrestleMania
spending
this
more than
weekend or
70 bucks
something?
on those, that's for sure. Maybe we will get a rare autograph card in one of those final 5 packs. But all right, folks, that is it for Smart Guys episode 13, the pre-WrestleMania 41 build-up. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Again, Gahul, I would like to thank you. You're a great host tonight. You have any final words for our audience here?
I love the whole chat. Love all of you at home. You're all
Shut up, Chinster. The white Chinster. Fucking can't let Latinos have anything. Y'all white devils have to steal everything from the minorities. Fucking Tipster can't even be fat with 12 chins. Here comes a white guy, fat as shit, with 13 chins. The fuck is this?
great and excellent. Phil, thank you for having me on. This was wonderfully fun. I'd love to come on again, and if the chat doesn't want me on, that's fine too, but I had the time of my life, so
I'd rather,
this was awesome.
if the
Good
chat
stuff. And
doesn't
like,
want
just to
me
remind
on.
everyone, coming up on Monday, WrestleMania Post Super Show, where I'm going to be covering all the matches. For
Post
Mania.
Super
We're gonna have
a
Ethan Ralph
show.
back. We're going to have Cypress TV back. We're going to see if we can get
Oh,
Gahul
fuck.
back in some capacity. And we're all going to be giving our thoughts on how this WrestleMania 41 went. All right, everyone? So on behalf of Gahul, I'm DSP.
On
Thank
behalf
you
of
all for
Gahul.
watching Smart Guys. We will
Oh,
see you for
fucking
Monday
A,
after the WrestleMania
shut.
dust settles.
Shut the fuck up. Holy fucking A. That was the dumbest shit, bro. Holy fuck. Like gaping hole, his mouth, bro. All that dude does is shovel food in. You can guarantee it. What am I trying to do here? Am I doing? Am I stupid? I think I might be, but shit. I forgot what I was doing there. Alright. So. I've been trying to beat this fucking mission all night. No, I'm kidding. Oh, god damn it. I haven't been really focusing on it. I've just been farting around. Alright. Oh, you guys don't like Devil May Cry 2? I could play Devil May Cry 2 again. My chat didn't like the fact I thought it was a good game. Just misunderstood. I like Lucia more, and I kind of wish it was her game. But I don't think Dante being in it is a bad idea. I just think she should have been the main character.
If you're asking for a date,
Kind of like Nero.
forget it. Because I make it a point not to go out with women who shoot me in the head.
Date a demon? I'm not that desperate. Besides, I really don't care for guys who stink like blood.
Whoops.
You're right. So, tell me, what's your name?
I don't have a name.
Okay, then what should I call you?
I don't care. Whatever you want.
Whatever, lady. I'll leave this to you, because I don't want to miss the party.
Who counted on you anyway?
Alright. Let's not go right into the match, or the mission. Let's get some shit here. Okay, so we need one of these. Have some of those. Okay. Alright, dudes. I just don't understand how Phil can fucking say, oh, hey, I have a special guest and it's gonna be quite controversial. What was controversial about fucking white tipster? Oh, shit. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. Alright. But you know what I mean? How the fuck is he like, this is gonna be a controversial guy, and I don't know how people are gonna respond to this. It's like, it was just some fat white guy that looked like tipster. Who gives a fuck? And then he wants us to believe everything this guy says, yet this guy offers no substantial proof to what he's saying. It's like, why do you want me to believe somebody I've never met, whom I've never heard speak, and just take his word at face value? when we all know Ashton and Andy have never ever claimed to be anything other than lolcows themselves. I mean, they fuck it. Ashton and Andy, like, one of them showed their butt in a park, and like the other one did so much drugs they were melting their brain or some shit like that. It's like, who thinks these guys are anything other than lolcows? I don't know. Melted? Yeah, Rich has that effect on people. You really gotta watch out. Cause like, you know how Phil, he has the ability to like hypnotize his viewers? Rich has the ability to make his viewers have a smooth brain, right? And they just stop all cognitive function. And they just listen to what Rich says. Even when his ass is wrong, lies to their face, has his hand in their wallet, all of that. God damn it. But nah. I really want them to make another Devil May Cry game. But I want it to be better than 5. How would you make a one better than 5 though? 5 was perfect. Maybe the combat could be a little less clunky, but even then the combat really wasn't clunky in 5. Bro, I'm sorry. That Smart Guys was terrible. That was fucking awful. I can't believe Phil was like, well, you see, these guys, they're really just lolcows themselves. Like, we all didn't fucking already know who they were. I should really try dodging more. Now we're off to the boss lady. You know, I think wrestling might be the dumbest thing known to man. I'm kidding, obviously. But I just don't... I just don't see the appeal of it anymore. Don't get me wrong, there was a time when I did, but not anymore. Dude, we're gonna get the lightning guitar, and that is one of my favorite weapons in this game. Very nice. All right. And I think this version might be my favorite. And if they were, I don't want them to remake it. If I'm being honest, I just love the charm of it. The classic look, the feel of the characters.
Of course I will.
I think it being a relic of its time kind of does it a service. Like, it lends, like, this is what Dante would view himself as, right? If he was telling this story now. Or if they do remake it and they like update the graphics, I hope they give you the ability to toggle it, like in the Halo collection. Bro, I am not as good as I used to be at this game. Fuck me, man.
This is a Dark Souls level game. This is Dark Souls Kirby, it is.
Are you to almost kill me again, bro? Fuck, I suck at this game. That took everything I had. Fuck. Like I said, I need to dodge more. Shot to the gut, baby doll.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
All right. I'll help you. Your father was a handsome devil. But you're no slouch yourself.
Maybe I turned it down a little too much. Nevin, Dante can control bats by jamming on this curious guitar. Its single attack is deadly. God damn, I added a word to it. Maybe I can't read, and maybe I am just a retard. Nah, probably not. But maybe it's possible. It's might be more possible than I first believed. God damn it, I forgot to up the volume.
Welcome back.
I get this feeling like Lady was supposed to be a playable character. We gotta be for boo. You suck. Boo this man. We gotta remember to save it because the game doesn't autosave. And I want to get to Virgil. That's what I want. And I know I can get to Virgil if I just use the cheat code, but I don't want to use the cheat code. Because then you can't save it, unfortunately. Boo. Alright, next mission.
Soon we will reach the lair of judgment. Timon Negru will finally regain its full function and lead us into the demon world. The world where Sparta's power has been sealed. And the one who will lift the incantation is you, his own son. It must be fate.
Does that woman really bother you?
What are you talking about?
Why didn't you kill her? Perhaps because she's your daughter? Did some pesky fatherly love get in your way?
That's none of your...
To further your study of the black arts, you sacrificed your loving wife to become a devil as well. Knowing this, I thought you'd be more useful to me. But I was wrong. No wonder your attainment of power is incomplete.
What about you? You're an incomplete being as well. Both demon and human blood mingle in your veins.
Shut up. Now that the final door is open, I have no use for you.
Cold. Fucking cold. Bro, I've always loved Virgil and the way he's acting and his demeanor and how it's just so much different than Dante. Yet you can tell they're like the same coin, but the different sides of it, right? Virgil's more straight-laced. Dante's more fun-loving and easygoing. I think we're fine for what we have. Okay, so I don't have any more? I thought he had a few more, like these ones. No, I don't want to upgrade that right now. Let's upgrade our guns. All right. Now we all know where this one goes. Oh, no, I already got the gun up there. Let's go over here. Oh, god damn it. No. Because we just unlocked this. Let's run with the rebellion and the sword, or the fucking sword. The guitar for a while. Okay, that raised this. I'm stuck on a level in Devil May Cry playing Bayonetta now. Chapter 4, it's more frustrating. Yeah, probably. I gotta remember what I'm supposed to do here. I completely forgot. Fuck, well, we'll just go the way we're able, I guess. We'll do what we must. Level up your gems. Yeah, that's what I do. I'll practice. I'll run the first few levels a few times. God damn it. Watch him turn around. Aw, look at him. $38 gems. Yeah. I want to upgrade Neven, so we need to save some gems. Oh, I'm starting to remember. We're supposed to go back to the beginning of the prior level, right? And this is where the angels come in? Or like the The demon angel things? No? Oh, I guess I was. Well, who would have saw that coming? Okay, yeah, it's time to kill this motherfucker. You can't scurry across the floor like that and be normal, bro. It's time for your death. This game has health regen through souls. You need green souls to regen your health. Oh shit, that's never happened to me before. What was I supposed to do there? Mash buttons? Yeah, some games, I think it's the first game where it regens through something else. Yeah. This game used a lot of the same techniques that Final Fantasy X did for its open world areas. You can notice the downgrade in the upgrade in animations between cutscene. Not that it's bad, it's just, it's a cool way that the PS2 did its graphics. There was like 3 models of the character made. The game model, the cutscene model, and then like that in-between cutscene and game model. I don't know, it's hard to describe. But here's dead Arkham, we found him.
Well, that was quick.
All right.
That man. Did you kill him?
So what if I did?
Yeah, Switch 2 is going to be really popular for people. And I'm so excited for people to get their new games, bro. It's going to be so cool. Dude, the anime shows us a potential of what happened.
He's the most vile kind of creature.
Something like that, yeah. Dante's so cool, bro. It's funny because he could have totally killed Lady like 90 times, but didn't.
Well, we have something in common. I have a dysfunctional family too.
And what would you know about family? You're a demon. This is my father. My family. This was all supposed to end by my hand.
had lag glitches. That's funny.
Aren't you gonna shoot?
To me, this is like the definitive version of these games. Until they upgrade them.
I don't care anymore.
More slow-mo. Not these ones. These ones are a cool, crispy 60 frames a second, bro. Or whatever the cap is for this game. Honestly, I have no idea. I've never looked it up. Okay, guys. Oh, man. I think I'm going to call it here. But it's always fun hanging out with you guys. That Smart Guys show was so fucking boring. But other than that, man, it's been a blast with you guys today. You guys have come out and spent like 7 hours with me today. So thank you. I appreciate you all. You know, and until next time, have a good night, man. They've been boring as shit, and I've been trying my best. I've been trying my best to find anything like to fill the content with, and it's pretty easy. I mean, all I have to do is just talk and let my opinions be known, and people seem to like it. So. Switch out that octopus for a teddy bear, bro, and you got me. I'm going night-night. Good night, guys. I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.